WBZ FM and HD1.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Beasley Media Group Station.
Essential Sports Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox and the Reds had their game suspended last night due to the rain. They'll resume at 2:30 this afternoon in the top of the fourth inning. No outs with the Sox leading 2-1. Roman Anthony and Carlos Narvaez drove in runs for Boston. They will then play tonight's regularly scheduled game at 7 o'clock. Celtics yesterday signing forward Josh Minott. It's reported a 2-year contract worth $5 million. Waiving Dame Lillard yesterday to make room for Miles Turner. 4 years, $107 million. Pistons signing Duncan Robinson, 3 years, $48 million. Bruins made nearly 10 moves yesterday on day one of NHL free agency. Most notably, they traded for winger right shot wing Victor Arvidsson. From the Oilers, they signed Tanner Jeannot to a 5-year contract, $3.4 million per year. They also brought back forward Sean Corelli. Rangers traded defenseman Keandre Miller to Carolina. He then signed for 8 years and $60 million. Corey Perry headed to the Kings. And French Open champ Coco Gauff was knocked out of the first round at Wimbledon yesterday by Diana Yastremska. Carlos Alcaraz in action later today. Headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm Matt McCarthy on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update in 30 minutes.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
When has that been necessary to fact check?
And Hardy.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
On 98.5.
Hey there.
Sarge GPT loading up.
Let me hear you say, "Boo! Boo! Boo!"
Crush me, mommy.
Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the Pope.
I'm a goddamn drag.
Yeah, good luck, dude.
Nothing like a good tushy.
I love you. I think you know that. Excuse me?
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fun. Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Kaboom! Razzle dazzle. Suck it, Joe.
For that, you get the Sarge dishonorable discharge of the day, so shut up. Hardy's got a Mountain Dew over there. Is that Diet Hardy?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's the Toucher and Hardy Show. No Fred. No Hardy. Where's Wallach? That could be a game someday.
It's a game every day.
Did you ever play or watch Carmen Sandiego?
Joe, I'm a child of the 90s.
Absolutely.
I loved Carmen Sandiego. It was my favorite game growing up. Loved geography.
Oh, yeah.
Big geography guy over here.
We didn't learn a lot about that in Catholic school.
No, really? The nuns weren't teaching me that?
You know, that's one of my biggest regrets is a lot of things I could say about Catholic school.
City kid, Joe Murray.
Yeah, it's just that I think I would have loved to learn more about the world.
Oh,
We had that same problem in public school.
yeah, Joe.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
It's an issue all across education, Joe.
Just talking to my kid just the other day. I've got a kid in high school, 16-year-old, and I was talking about how I remember in 5th grade learning about checkbooks and, balancing a checkbook and budgeting and, writing a check and making a deposit, banking, all that kind of stuff. And then nothing after that. Nothing about personal finance, nothing about financial health, all the way through middle school, all through high school. My kid was like, well, why is that? And I was like, capitalism. That's why that is.
See, I'm 43 years old. I'm getting older.
You're millennial, technically, right?
You are.
Like you're right. You're like the zennial,
Listen.
like right in between the end of Gen X, beginning of millennial.
I'm a zennial, but like when I tell you I'm an old heart, I'm a really old school heart.
Don't tell that to Felger and Maz. Every time they want to blame a 20-year-old for something, they say these millennials because those guys don't understand generations.
No.
So let's not even go there.
All right.
But for real, though, I blame a lot of things in life by going to Catholic school. I don't know why. It's like a crutch.
Joe, you and my dad, Joe Murray, Hyde Park, David McCarthy, Hyde Park. You guys could do 5 weeks worth of content on your Catholic school education.
Yeah, I think I told you this. You were just playing some Sarge drops. We went to his wedding, and well, I definitely got drunk with a priest.
Oh, you and me both.
Yeah, I was
both of them.
I was chatting this guy up all night long.
They were great,
fantastic,
awesome.
Father Chip was
Father Chip, Father Matt,
Father Matt's a character.
Both of them
well,
are characters.
Actually, both. I said that they should do a podcast. Now, I don't know who would bless that one, by the way.
Well, can't they bless their own podcast?
Well, they could, but like, imagine the hoops you got to go through. You got to go to the Cardinal. Like, where do you go? Where do you go for that one?
I don't know. You go all the way to the top.
Well, one was Father Matt.
Yep.
And one was Father Chip.
Father Chip, Ithaca College alum.
And I said, you guys should do a podcast and call it Holy Chip. And their minds were blown all night long. And I thought it was the greatest name of all time. So I wanted to like Seacrest it, executive produce it, and this is the content. Anyways, it's funny that Adam 12 said, hey, that happened in public school too, because I don't know anybody who ever said that who went to public school. Like, a lot of people knew geography. And like, again, I learned about, the Bible.
Of course.
Instead of,
religious education, sure.
Yeah, or where certain things are and volcanoes and stuff like that.
It's a generational thing, too. I mean, again, you and I are 5 years apart, Joe, but I think our school years generationally were similar, but there definitely wasn't a premium put on teaching
anything.
Well, but teaching American history from kind of a more unbiased perspective. It seems like my kid, again, I've got a kid in high school, a kid who's gotten through high school, and it seems like they're doing a better job of giving kids a more balanced education nowadays.
Well, I mean, education begins in the home, 12.
Yes.
If you're counting on a public school system, a private school, a Catholic school to educate your children, education begins in the home. It supplements. Good parents teach their kids. What do I know about geography? Carmen Sandiego, from playing with my grandfather. Like, that was what we used to like to do. We'd get on the computer, his compact Windows 95, and we'd sit down and we'd play Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? And that's how I learned geography.
Well, growing up in Boston, and again, I don't know, we had cable vision. So I will say this, shout out to Mom. We had cable in the house,
Elite.
But I used to watch a lot of Boston public access, and they had Carmen Sandiego on there.
Channel 2.
Channel 2.
Rockapella.
Wow.
Working on it.
Anyways, but
State Capitals song from Rockapella. They forgot Pierre.
You know how they had certain things like the Warrens. We could have the Wallach.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, she speaks around the world from here to
Is she?
I mean, this slaps.
Do yourselves a favor and pull up a picture. Just Google image Rockapella 1991. There's just
it's like Color Me Bad.
Those are some amazing hairstyles.
San Diego.
That's a good analogy.
I don't even need. Visually, my mind's eye is telling me Color Me Bad.
White guys with dreadlocks. I mean, just a whole situation. Cornrows.
Joe, we got to hit this chorus here.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Filled to Norway's, Zimbabwe's. I feel like I could have nailed this if I worked on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You and me both. I love this show. The Chief.
Oh, was that girl on Power Rangers? What the girl who always was like, Carmen Sandiego's here. She was always like the lead woman.
Chief.
Yeah, the Chief.
Yeah.
The Chief.
Was she, I feel like she was on something else.
This is what I know her from, is she is the disc jockey in The Warriors, the 70s film The Warriors. She's the disc jockey that's kind of giving updates over the radio on where the Warriors are headed as they try to make their way home to Coney Island.
For some reason, I have a Power Rangers Power Rangers is popping in my head about her.
I don't think she was in Power Rangers, but she was the judge in Anger Management.
Oh, with Jack
Nicholson and Adam Sandler. She sentences Adam Sandler to 1 year of anger management.
Lynn Thigpen is the actress's
Legendary.
name. Yeah.
Well, last night...
Let's start naming capitals there, Joe.
No.
Kentucky.
Louisville? Actually, don't know.
No, it's Frankfurt.
Oh, good job, 12.
Yeah, see, listen.
Florida.
Tallahassee.
I'm out.
Yeah, look at that public school education back there.
See?
What were they teaching you at Our Lady of whatever?
Well, this was Sacred Heart of Roslindale.
Wasn't Most Precious Blood where my dad went?
No, that's the other. So we had... I got Adam Banks at about 12. What I mean by Adam Banks is I lived on the Hyde Park Rossi line. And then basically one day they go, you got to go over there.
Buffer zone.
But I wanted to go to Rosendale, West Roxbury. But I got Adam Banks. And, well, I ended up having to do everything that way. But, yeah, MPB, I had a lot of friends from there. And then everybody went to either, Catholic Memorial or Xaverian or Latin.
BC High?
Yeah, the smart kids went there.
My dad, BC High.
Well, it's good. You know what?
Smart guy.
Good for him.
Yeah, no, it was good for him. I agree.
Last night, again, I'm still not adjusting. I'm adjusting the mornings.
Just in time to not have to do them. Only one more day.
Yeah. Yesterday was a really long day.
Well, you left here and had a whole other half a work day, really.
I hang out with the guys over at Card Vault in Boston, and we broke open Topps Chrome yesterday.
Okay.
And we pulled a Vlad Guerrero autograph parallel. Phenomenal looking card. It's probably worth some dough. $400 or $500 maybe. That's raw. Get it graded. Now we're talking big bucks.
It's raw. Is that the term?
Raw.
Yeah, raw. Before you go.
But I went home and I was
feels dirty.
I was still up for a little bit. Made a nice little rice plate and I was out. Woke up for the Red Sox game though, and it was in a rain delay. And I go, all right, what's Nesson gonna do tonight? Like I wonder about these things because being in the business, we've all had to dance, right?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean by dancing, right? Hey, like things go awry, right? And sometimes, dude, you gotta dance for 5 minutes. And so I'm like, how are these guys gonna dance?
I thought it was good. I actually watched the full 20 minutes they did with Jim Rice. It was good.
Agree. And Tom Caron even said, hey, usually we don't like these kind of things because we have to dance. And they just did a lot of 1975 Red Sox stuff.
I'm into it.
Jim Rice, great storyteller. They replayed an old Carlton Fisk when he found the bat. The home run that he hit wasn't even his bat. Was it Bernie Carbo's bat?
That I'm not sure about. I didn't stay until that point.
That sounds right. Let me look that up.
But as I'm watching it, I'm like, all right, what else is on tonight? It's like 8 o'clock. The Red Sox are in a rain delay. I put a little wrestling on. I wasn't into it. I started bouncing around, and I got The Departed.
Oh.
It was Rick Burleson's bat, by the way.
Rick Burleson. Thank you. I should have.
How's it hold up?
So The Departed?
You know what? Some things popped into my head watching it. When she got the call, and by the way, I'm not a Dropkick Murphys fan, but we don't have to share that.
But you just did.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You're
okay.
No, play it.
It works.
Play it.
It works for this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of symbolism in the movie.
Yeah, it's Scorsese.
No,
Yeah.
Yes. But the scene that I love, again, where I grew up, is he goes to the house and he goes, you knocked over a car over at the Dedham Mall. And I'm like, yeah! Yeah!
Microprocesses. Out on Route 128.
But, he goes to the bar, and the guy that owns the bar is like, hey, I'm closing. He goes, I'll see you on Christmas. And I was like, what? I'm trying to think, like, why did he say, I'll see you on Christmas? So I'm still trying to figure out that symbolism.
The bar's open on Christmas.
Well, that's what he does on Christmas Day.
Opens on Christmas, and you get Blotto down at the bar.
We could have used this song because this song's in the it's not as obviously
Stones?
well known as I was thinking of the love scene.
Yeah.
Comfortably Numb by Van Morrison?
No, Pink Floyd.
Well, no, no.
Oh, that's right. They use the Van Morrison version, don't they?
Wait, they do?
Yes, they do. That's why I'm bringing it up.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do. This is why I'm bringing it up at 6:15 in the morning. I was going to this. So he's just like, hey, guys. Frenchie's like, nobody leave.
Yep.
And then give me your social security numbers. And he didn't know how to spell citizens. And what was his name? French? No. French was the what the hell was the guy's name? When I tell you to bury a body in the marsh, you bury a body in the marsh.
So it's
Irish
French,
guy.
Delahunt, Fitzy? No, it's not Fitzy.
It might have been.
It could have been Fitzy. He lives with his mother in Brockton.
Yes. Mama, I'm not gonna make it home for dinner.
Yeah, carry on without me.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, the symbolism. Matt Damon's like, don't put that.
You are right. It is this version.
Don't put that picture in the house. No.
Oh, the rat?
He shows up to the house and goes, oh, this is you? Oh, cute. Leonardo checked all the boxes that night, baby.
Sure did.
All he had to do was show up. Because, again, French said, don't leave.
Don't do it.
He goes, and they wanted to know what he did.
Yep.
He didn't say where he went. I think they knew where he went anyways, right? Because remember the laryngectomy call and all that? I'm just wondering if, because in the end, like he even said to him, one of your guys is going to be upset with you, and they're going to get you. Mm-hmm. We know the end and how it ends.
It's true.
But he was right. Good swerve in that movie too. By the way, this love scene,
Top notch.
it's Leo's baby, right?
It's definitely Leo's baby.
If you're an actress and it's like, hey, you're going to have a love scene with Leo, do you think she was ready for it?
I think it's all clinical when it comes to that. I don't think I think the actors doing love scenes is just it's just another scene. Another scene.
I did think about that last night.
Yeah.
Well, Leo's got a history of
a little bit.
Fraternizing? Is that the word?
Yeah.
It's womanizing?
I did not say that.
I'm saying it. Yeah. I don't think it's. I don't think I'm telling tales out of school.
No older than 25. Yep.
Getting money.
Well, actually, I heard it's 27 now.
Oh, he's upgraded.
That's what I've heard. Actually, recently I heard that.
Oh, good. All right.
Interesting.
But anyways, so we agree it's Leo's kid.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is strongly implied that it's Leo's kid.
Okay. Do you think we could ever get a... We talked about sequels years later?
Yes.
Do you ever think we could get one here?
So there was initially supposed to be one with Mark Wahlberg as the lead.
Because there's symbolism there, too.
But that...
With the rat on top of the...
Yep, walking across. I mean, who else are you going to do a sequel with?
I don't think we need that. I'm really out on Mark Wahlberg in the lead in any film, to be honest with you.
A lot of Mark Wahlberg haters, huh? Is it because he grew up in Dorchester and like I was a kid and he like grew up down the street from me and it was like, hey, I love that guy. So I don't have any angst towards him.
How can you have angst towards somebody who did the Good Vibrations music video? I mean, come on.
Well,
I mean, that's...
For real, though, Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark, Calvin Klein, the movie Fear, let me tell you. Was that the Ferris wheel scene I'm trying to think? Or was it a Ferris wheel, right? Or was it a roller coaster?
It's been a long time.
I think
remember. It was a roller coaster.
Oh, the roller coaster scene was intense.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. How does this not make you feel good? I'll never forget. After 4th and 2, I was pissed off beyond compare. My buddy, huge Pats fan, just sent this to me. He said, it'll make you feel better. and you know what? It did.
Yeah.
It did make me feel better. So I associate 4th and 2 with this.
Wow, I don't.
It is a fun music video to watch. I mean, you guys are hearing it. I'm watching it, but Marky Mark's dancing around. He's got it was a big thing It was a big thing in the hip hop. You had a cane for a while. That was a big trend in early '90s hip hop. Was he had a cane, and he had an 8-ball
on the top of his.
That's
wow!
Right. Not like the Prime Minister Pete Nice from third base. He had a much more stylized cane with the brass top, I believe. Scepter, he used to call it.
So we brought up Sacred Heart Rosendale. The biggest thing in the area when I was like a kid, before 6th grade, let's call it, the New Kids on the Block and Mark Wahlberg. They were local. Bobby Brown was local. So like as a kid, it was. They used to sell these big buttons. I don't know if you remember, like the New Kids. I'm sure we could Google it. I had a Joey McIntyre button.
All right.
Don't ask me why I'm rocking a Joey McIntyre button, but I was a fan.
But you were rocking it.
Yeah, in school. Like it was
Catholic school. How'd that go over?
You know what? It wasn't a rat tail.
The nuns were cool.
I had one of those. Not proud of that.
No rat tails. No. I'm trying to think of what I got my ear pierced.
I did not do that.
Oh, they were. Oh my God.
End of the world.
My friends were so embarrassed by the tail, they cut it off.
So yes, the nuns definitely threatened.
I was going to say
people, yeah.
No, I had one friend distracted me while the other one cut it off, and they honestly were doing me a favor. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Kev.
Those are
Appreciate
good
that.
friends right there.
They really are.
Yeah.
Mom, not happy about that. Not happy. Should have been. Cut the tail off. Don't want the tail. Very embarrassing to have the tail. So thanks again to my friends for snip, snip.
Well, this was a very long way of starting with Carmen Sandiego. Where's Wallach? That's really where I was going with that. That could be a bit for you guys someday.
I haven't checked his Instagram yet to see if he made it to Philadelphia yet.
You know what? We'll do that during the break.
Okay. All right.
But people in the chat must not, I don't know if they listen, but I am the night host here.
Yes.
I work nights, and they put me in a chair by myself with Skaz. Mm-hmm. And we tend to do a lot of things that, like, when you've been here this week, Adam, we're going to do this segment.
Right.
And we're going to do this segment. Sometimes when I'm on, we might hit on 7 different topics in one segment. So, for the people who are like, these guys are all over the place today, you can blame me.
The answer is yes, we are.
But to be honest with you, if you're a regular Toucher and Hardy listener, we do segments like that sometimes too.
I mean, where do you think I got it from?
Exactly. It's not out of the ordinary. I mean, they're trying to keep things focused, but at the end of the day, if we're having an entertaining and engaging conversation, sure, if that's the direction things going, that's the direction things going.
I'm just really upset that Joe Murray did not want me to quiz him on state capitals at the beginning.
No, because I'm going to
on that.
I will. I'm
Oregon
being Eugene.
Yeah.
No.
God.
Not Olympia.
That's Washington.
Yeah.
Why don't you work on that? Workshop that during the break.
Okay, good idea.
See if you can be better back there, 12.
Now, that's the second time we've tried to tease to go to a break. Just want to let everybody know that, but I am the one.
You have the power.
That is not.
I'm trying to
officially kicked it there.
I'm trying to guide us gracefully into break, and Joe said, whoa, not so fast.
But I just want to make sure that we talked about Carmen Sandiego, Catholic school, rat tails, Mark Wahlberg, New Kids on the Block, Buttons, The Departed.
Rockapella.
That's right. Just want to let you know, we did all of that in the first segment today.
Imagine what we could do over the next 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Imagine.
Joe.
So Ryan Beaton, we could go home right now, and you have enough content to get us to 10 o'clock. All right, sir? Let's find out what happened last night. A lot, or was it a lot?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. You might have to tell me.
Well, I've got 5 minutes to figure out what happened last night, Joe, because I'm very prepared, as always.
How about this? Who are these people? We'll find out next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, it's Felger here.
As always, what happened last night brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Opening of NHL free agency yesterday, Joe. Very busy day for the Bruins. I think this is the kind of the way to sum it up. Ty Anderson yesterday on Zolak and Bertrand.
Trent Frederick. It's the same player. It's the same player. You know nothing about this guy, though. God, this is so annoying. Just when you think they're turning the page away from big and tough and all that and getting more skilled, which is what they need, what's Tanner Jeannot going to do? Is he going to punch the puck in the net? That's what you need. You don't need this player anymore. It's so annoying. 5 years for a guy that you don't really need.
5 years, $3.4 million for Tanner Jeannot. How you feeling about that, Joe?
I don't have a clue about what the hell they had planned for the offseason. I like to take an L every once in a while, Matt. Mm-hmm. I'm an accountable man.
That's why we have you.
If I have a
Thank
take,
God.
If I have a take and it's bad, you'll tell me.
I will. No, I won't hesitate.
But I will tell you when I lose a take. Like there's hills to die on, right? I said last year, when last season ended, I said that they're going to have a lot of money to spend going into 2025. Well, they might have. But who did they spend it on, Matt? Jeannot. Joey, might as well be Joey Juno at this point. They made a trade for Arvidsson and literally just took on the $4 million. Like, didn't throw hey, how about, we give you this guy and you eat, $1 million. Nothing. They just said, hey, we'll give you a fifth-round pick of the $4 million. We're good. Because, I don't know, the Bruins used to have to give other teams draft picks to get rid of guys. Right? They had to give up stuff for other people to take people. Take them. The Bruins say, well, we got money. So, I take the L. A giant loss from a take from a year ago where I said that they're going to have a lot of money in free agency in 2025. Loss. L. Taking a huge L. Because you know who's going to be really good next year?
Who?
Providence Bruins. They went on a big run this year. Baby, back-to-back. Let's go. A lot of fourth-liners.
Big day yesterday for the Providence Bruins. How about Craig Button with some analysis on this?
Listen, Tanner Jeannot's a fourth-line player. God bless Tanner Jeannot for getting a 5-year contract at $3.4 million. I'm not going to take anything away. He's a fourth-line player. That's what he is. The Boston Bruins are going nowhere fast. They're not going to make the playoffs. To Mike's point, what do they have? They have Charlie McAvoy. They have Swayman, who's coming off a bad year. David Pastrnak. What else?
Geeky. That was uplifting. You know, it's always a good sign when you sign a player to a deal and the analyst says, hey, God bless this guy, but, oh, no, that's not what you're looking for there, Joe. What the hell are they doing with this one?
So
it's one thing to take on some money for this year because next year's a bigger free agent class and all that stuff, and you got to field a team. I get it. They are going nowhere fast. This is the deal that bugs me the most. Why are you spending $3.4 million a year for the next 5 years on this bum?
Matt, why does anybody that's on this team deserve 5 years?
Nobody.
Like Pasternak's got 6. Lindholm has 6. They just gave Geeky 6. Like, think about all the defensemen that they have. Lindholm has 5. McAvoy has 5. Swayman has 7. Jeannot? I'm sorry.
5-year deal.
Hey, you know what, though? Sean Corelli's back.
Oh, that's exciting, isn't it?
So can I bury now the Lysel Merkulov days? Like, can I just...
Well, I don't know about that.
No, can I, instead of saying, hey, just play those guys and see what they have? Because that was a take I had for a really long time. So now it's going to be, what? Jeannot, Hustadinov, who's this Isamont guy?
I don't know.
And I said the reason why I didn't like the Geeky signing, A, the money, but B, that's their top line. So now the Bruins are going forward. Remember that David Pastrnak rumor about going to Florida? I was starting to wonder about that. Right? He's got Lindholm and Geeky on the line. Do you think he's jazzed up about that?
No.
And then it's Middlestat, Arvidsson, and Zaka?
Oh, Jesus.
Like, this is your top... top 6! And then Jeannot. Corrali? What, Patra going to play? They got to let him play?
Who the hell are these guys?
When I moved back here from New Mexico to work at WBCN in 2003. 2003, okay? Think about that with the Bruins. I remember I haven't been to a Bruins game in years. Can't wait to go and see the Bruins. Was able to get really good seats for cheap, too. Why? Not good teams. Not good teams in that era. Same what you just said, Joe Murray. I remember going and seeing the Bruins play. I think they did back into the playoffs that year. I think they did maybe at a first-round exit against the Devils, I believe. They were like an 8 seed. So they weren't terrible. But I remember having that same thought, what you just said, Joe Murray. Who are these guys? Like, I was out of town for a couple of years. I was following from afar. I come back. Who are these guys? And that's the team that it looks like it's shaping up you're going to have now.
That happened fast, didn't it? I mean, really, a year ago, you could name just about everybody on this team. They signed 10 guys yesterday, Joe. I don't know. I don't know. Ty Anderson yesterday, they signed some guy, and they turned to Ty and they said, who is this guy? And Ty said, I'm not going to lie. I have no idea who this guy is.
I saw Ty fall on the floor. They mentioned, I think it was Jeannot, right? I think you played the clip.
Did you play the clip? Actually, I've got something I wanted to say about that clip. Could you play the clip one more time, please?
I can make that happen.
Thank
for
you. I appreciate
Why trade Trent Frederick? It's the same player. It's the same player. You know nothing about this guy, though. God, this is so annoying. Just when you think they're turning the page away from big and tough and all that and getting more skilled, which is what they need, what's Tanner Jeannot going to do? Is he going to punch the puck in the net? That's what you need. You don't need this player anymore. It's so annoying. 5 years for a guy that you don't really need.
Ty Anderson got so upset he almost went full Mad Dog.
Mike, we get it.
I mean, weren't you? I was getting this, and I saw the clip too yesterday when they posted it on Twitter, and I saw him fall out of his chair and then come back with that take. And the first thing I thought,
facts are facts.
He's so angry.
Put the sun on.
He's so angry. He sounds like Mad Dog.
Ty Dog.
Ty Dog.
So everything that I gave, I actually thought Don Sweeney did a pretty good job of trading players away and gaining assets. Mm-hmm. Where are those assets going to play? Like this Minton guy. I was very Sminton for Minton. So instead, Minton makes $800,000, but you sign Jeannot for $3. Wait, there's got to be at some point. Sweeney, three more years of this.
Oh, no, I mean, Joe, I think we all think he had an excellent day yesterday. How could you possibly want him to lose his job?
You don't have to spend the money. Now, I commend the Bruins for spending to the cap every year.
They always do. They always do, and they deserve credit for that.
You didn't have to spend the money. You could have waited a day.
Listen, in fairness, if they had gone through a day and they didn't spend their money, or if they didn't spend their money in one season, we'd be criticizing them.
Yeah, but you know what, though? At least they could have strategized.
The problem is signing a guy for 5 years in what is obviously a bridge year. That's the issue. You want to spend up to the cap and take on bad money like Arvidsson, fine, because you got to field a team. And, okay, fine. I can understand that in a bridge year. I cannot understand spending five years on this guy. 5 years. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, I don't want to crush the Bruins. I would like them to be good for a lot of personal reasons. I would like them to be good.
Nobody actually suffers more than you, Joe.
I want the Bruins to be good. I want the Celtics to be good.
Good for business.
It's very good for business. And I am a businessman.
You are.
I'm not just a business. I am a businessman. So, yes, this is not getting me excited. This is not getting anyone excited.
Well, Joe, in that case, you need the Bruins to be good. You need the Celtics to be good. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I think the bank is closed in Boston right now. I think the most important numbers to take a look at is the luxury tax and the total. That's roughly over $250 million. At one time, that number was $550 million. In a period of 1 week, they have saved $300 million. They're going to lose Al Horford to free agency, and they're also going to lose Luke Cornett to free agency. Both guys are going to be gone here.
No. Well, I've had you checked me yesterday, and now I'm thinking about it, and now people. I sometimes I wonder about the power of this radio station. We had a conversation about money, second aprons. I'm thinking it's just going to be a year. You tried telling me it's going to be more than a year. Then people who cover the team write about being more than a year. And then we see other teams pay multiple years of tax. And I'm wondering why our team can't do that. So now I am scared.
Are you suspicious? Is it smelly? What are you picking up there? What type of scent?
Oh, they're going to feed us some green poo. We're going to get a lot of green poo for the next year.
I'm not going to eat it.
Wait, where are you going to go to do it? That's one question. No, I think we're going to get a lot of green poo, meaning, hey, watch this guy, though. Yeah. He didn't play much in Minnesota. What's up with getting guys from the Timberwolves, by the way? You got the wrong Luka, and now you got a Minot. So, like, I don't know what's going to happen here, Matt, but I'm scared because I thought it was going to be a one-year thing. And based off some reading that I've done and research, it might be more than 1 year.
Welcome to the Bill Chisholm ownership, Joe. I've been trying to tell you about this for months. Did you listen?
Oh.
Did you listen? Did you listen to me?
You know, I heard you, but I wasn't comprehending. and really, I was in denial. That's one of the first things to admit, right?
I was trying to help you, but I'm glad you're admitting it now. He's a problem.
We'll read some stuff coming up. Chris Forsberg. We're going to be joined by Brian Robb today.
I do know that. Yes.
Here,
like in the flesh.
Yeah, unless something changes. We're going to hear from him no matter what, whether he's here or on the phone.
Yeah, 8:25.
We invited him here. I didn't offer him breakfast, though. Which
It's a good breakfast yesterday.
It was.
Thank you again for that, Jeff.
By the way, I heard
it's kind of you.
You know what? I heard a lot about that. I was in the city yesterday.
People enjoyed the segment.
I had a lot of people say that a lot of people listen to the show, huh?
Mm.
Yeah, it's different than nights. It's like the morning drive versus the night drive.
Different people?
Much different people, too. Yeah, many. I don't like what's going on here with the Bruins or the Celtics. How about that? And
yeah, that's fair.
We're going into a holiday weekend. I don't think anyone wants to talk about this. You know, like normally it's like, hey, what's going to happen this year?
It's too depressing.
I don't think we're going to be talking about that over the holidays.
I don't think it has much legs because it's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
We're going to get more into this today. We're going to talk to Evan Marinofsky later, the New England Hockey Journal. Does a good job. We mentioned Brian Robbins' studio. We have In or Out later on today. And, we're going to celebrate some losers, which is always fun. But the Red Sox also played last night, Matt.
They did.
Let's do that.
Kind of.
Kind of. They got a double dip today. Guess what?
A good double dip.
I'm going tonight.
Tonight? Not today?
Tonight.
You could go today, too.
I could go today.
Be better for you. You're doing mornings tomorrow.
Do you think it's getting hotter later in the day or earlier in the day?
Yes, later in the day.
Am I noticing that?
Later in the day.
What's up with that?
The sun.
All right. Well, we're supposed to go to break because I just saw it on YouTube. So let's go to break, hit the headline. I'm Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Clock sounds like this. This is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, the Sports Hub.
When Roman came up and he wasn't getting the hits, there was still a lot of confidence in him. You could see the way that he commanded in that batting. He never really expanded outside the strike zone. He was hitting the ball really hard. And then over the last, handful of games or so, those balls are starting to drop. And we see the player that he is.
All right, Matt, tell us what the hell else happened last night. That was robot Craig Breslow.
I actually think he sounded a little bit more human in the last week and a half. I think he's gotten a little PR talking to. Craig Breslow on the pregame with Tom Caron last night. Or pregame or rain delay. It was on with TC.
Payroll flexibility gives us more options, but the trade deadline is not free agency, and so dollars alone don't represent necessarily the best currency to improve your team. We also have to think about the farm system that we've developed and the young players and how we may need to trade kind of what we would call future value for wins in the present.
Yeah, no, never mind. Actually, that was still really robotic. I'm going to take everything back I just said there.
Wait a second. Future value for wins in the present. And spending money. So therefore, that message to me means they're not going to invest in this year because of wins. Why invest your future asset for now when the team isn't competing?
Well, Joe, they are still making it very clear. They want to add at the deadline.
They're telling us we need to win more games. And, fortunately, there's a lot of games left between now and the deadline. But we came into this season with a very aggressive mindset, and we believe that we were putting together a team that was capable of making the postseason. We still believe that's the case. Our heads right now are trying to figure out how we can improve this team and how we, add in places to bolster the roster so that we can make that deep playoff run that we had anticipated.
Joe, I've said it for a couple weeks now. There is nothing more dangerous in sports than a general manager with something to prove. And Craig Breslow has something to prove. He has taken a beating. There have been hit pieces put out against him. It's obvious that there are issues behind the scenes. There's infighting. He just traded the best player on the team. He got a bag of balls in return. I would say ownership has a lot to do with that. But you never want a GM who needs to prove something and needs to get a win. This team is not worthy of an investment right now, and they are still talking about them as if they are some type of first-place team, and we're going to buy. Watch out for it. Telling you. This is my next warning, Joe. I warned you about Bill Chisholm.
Yeah.
I'm warning you about Craig Breslow in this moment.
He's going to do something erratic because you just said someone with something to prove is scary? Is that what was your word there?
Dangerous.
Is dangerous.
Dangerous. Craig Breslow is a clear and present danger to the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, I don't like that. You know what, though? The Red Sox are their own worst enemy. Like, Roman Anthony's going to save the Red Sox, right? Like, no one is going to save. Bregman is not going to save the Red Sox. You know who I'm really high on? Just real quick. This Garcia kid, the password.
Yes.
We
just Stinkston.
This Myers, I think, is good, by the way. Mm-hmm. Anthony's getting hot, but, he's hitting where he shouldn't be, and he's not learning and developing. He's just swimming, treading water. Yep. Starting to swim a little better right now.
Base running mistake last night.
Boom. And then Campbell is trying to reinvent himself at first, I guess.
He's a wreck.
I think Garcia is going to be their best.
I don't. And there's a reason why you're hearing about him. They're pumping him up.
I don't want to
pumping up the value. Pump and dump, baby. Mm. Pump and dump. Wait a minute. I thought you said Roman Anthony wasn't going to save us, Joe.
Rolling up to 210. Stings this one down the left field line. That's a fair ball all the way to the corner. Red Sox grab a quick run. He's into second with a double. Back-to-back doubles off Singer. Red Sox off to the races again tonight.
Red Sox got out to a 2-0 lead in the first inning. Roman Anthony an RBI double. They lead the game 2-1 in the top of the fourth. That is where we had the game suspended due to rain last night. We'll pick it up. Again, Sox leading 2-1. No outs, top of the fourth at Fenway Park today.
All right, Anthony's getting hot. He's seeing the ball better. He's getting hits. Good.
Mm-hmm. He's a good hitter.
My only thing is, listen, I'm defending him because where's he batting?
Yeah, he's second.
Zero protection in the lineup.
He's the face of the franchise.
But is he the savior? I don't know. See,
well, they think he is.
The reason why I mentioned Garcia to you is if they're pumping and dumping him, they're doing they better get something in return if they're going to do it. But for years, I heard about Blaze Jordan. For years, I heard about Garcia. And, of course, we heard about Anthony and Meyer and all these guys. I think now Anthony and Meyer are here to stay. But I don't know. There's something about I get that Mookie Betts feeling with him, and I don't want to get. I'm not
with Garcia.
Yeah, you know why? Because Mookie Betts hit at one level, and then they brought him up to the next level, and he dominated. Then they brought him up to the next level, and he dominated to the point where he forced the Red Sox to play him. He wasn't ready. He didn't have a position. Now all I'm going to hear is, well, they have too many outfielders. He bats right-handed, right? He's an outfielder. At this point, he's hitting and hitting and hitting. No matter where he plays, he hits. So you can pump and dump. You can do this and that. I don't know. I like guys that perform at every level.
Sure, yeah.
So why would they pump and dump a guy that has proven it at every level? Because they like their left-handed outfielders that they've been promising? Because it's okay if some guy that you have pops. It's okay if some guy who, by the way, do you see the numbers? Am I talking out of school here?
No, they're good.
Is this dude hit at every single level?
Yes, he has.
Then why isn't he considered? This is my take, the password with one of the best nicknames in all of sports, as a right-handed outfielder, will be better than, I'll say, Campbell, Meyer. I think he's going to be right in the middle between Meyer and Anthony.
Where's he going to play?
He's right-handed, and he's an outfielder. So I don't know. Right now, Roman Anthony's probably your DH.
Roman Anthony is your left fielder of the future.
I want him to be because of the legacy and all that. But where's he playing right now?
So
DH. And he's hitting the ball.
Right, because
that's what they need.
Because they haven't traded Duran yet. Your outfield is Abreu, Rafaela, Anthony moving forward. There is not much room for Garcia. They are pumping and dumping him, Joe.
Well, I've warned you. You're giving me a warning?
Yep.
I am warning Breslow. That guy's good. He hits. He's right-handed. So, I don't know.
They do hate that.
I mean,
they don't like right-handed hitters.
Some guy, they send him to Lowell. They don't even have Lowell. But you know what? Pretend he hit in Lowell. Pretend he hit in Worcester. Pretend he everywhere. Wherever. This guy is hitting. And by the way, just card collectors out there. One of the most coveted cards right now is Mr. Garcia.
Because of his name and the nickname?
No, because he's an ascending star. People think he's going to be a star. I don't know. Remember the other little wall that's in left field? How big? Well, how big?
310, 37 and a half feet up.
Whatever happened to right-handed hitters at Fenway Park? You know why they suck? They need more righties. I'm dumbing this down because it's stupid how bad they are. So I'm going to go even lower than that. Right-handed hitters, Fenway Park, is a good thing.
Good.
It's good. So you know what? Pump and dump. Why don't you pump and dump one of these guys who've been pumping at us for years because they've been dumping all over us. All right, we'll have more coming up next because we're going to do more loser talk. I'm ready.
We got him going 12.
He's fired up.
Wow.
It's 6:57 a.m. and it's like it's 6:57 at night, ready to do a show.
I think 3 days no sleep. Yeah. Joe's finally snapped. He snapped.
I mean, I'm worried about tomorrow, but we're here today.
Let's taking it out on the show today. Hit the break fast so we get back to Joe faster, please.
All right.
Well, hit the break here.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
And I'm going to the Red Sox game with him tonight. My friends, not business.
Yeah. Well, you are a businessman.
Well, I told you I'm not just a business. I'm a businessman.
But you with your Hawaiian shirts, nobody can rock a colorful shirt like you here at this station.
Well, you know what? Get ready for it this summer, baby. Now, today, I might be wearing like a Wallach collar kind of shirt. Does Wallach wear collars, by the way? Have you ever seen him outside of like a sweatshirt and a hat?
When there's a photo being taken for the show, we had to redo the show photo. Was either late last year or earlier this year. I think it was earlier this year. Yes, John Wallach has his collared shirt that he wears. And then I believe he also wore his collared shirt to Pucks or Paddles.
Okay. What I get, this is, who am I to talk to about appearance, okay? First off, disclaimer, not body shaming anybody, okay? Because people get, who's Joe to say this about? But a lot of flat brims and a lot of hoodies in the morning.
Yes, that's kind of the costume. Although Hardy is the dresser of the three. Hardy is very particular about how he matches his hat to his hoodie to even his sneakers. Man's a shoe horse. He's in here with a different pair of sneakers on every day.
Jesus.
It's wild.
You got any Wallach 75 photos?
Oh, well, actually, we had Wallach, I guess, 80s photos from when he was in high school.
Yeah.
We had a listener sent those to us. They went to the, where was he from? Needham, I think?
John?
They went to the Needham,
Needham?
High School.
Or Belmont?
I'm sorry, they went to the Needham, no, I'm sorry, it was Lexington. He went to high school in Lexington. So they went to the Carey Memorial Library in Lexington. They pulled out his high school yearbook, took photos of John Wallach in the yearbook playing the clarinet, and sent them to the show. It was delightful.
That's awesome.
It was great, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
At what point does that become creepy?
Oh, it was absolutely creepy, but it was also great.
Yeah, but some
things can be true at the same time.
I was disappointed I hadn't thought of it because I spent a lot of time in Lexington, and I was why didn't I think to do this? This would have been a great bit for the show. But that's how the Toucher and Hardy listeners are. They think like we do.
So. Yeah, well, I told you I shared a baseball picture yesterday from my high school days.
Love that lefty power you had there, man. Yeah,
I appreciate that. Opposite field, we didn't have a fence, as I discussed. That got brought up to me yesterday too.
King of triples.
Some guy said, "Hey, you did have a lot of triples."
Joey triples.
Tyler Milliken, for those who don't know, has a bit where whenever the Red Sox hit a triple, he shows his nipples. Which, how come this isn't gone more viral? Is it because we're not?
No, I think it has.
Yeah,
Joe.
I love that wherever he's at, though, he does it. So I want to see where else this can go. Anyways, 1975, Matt.
What a year, Joe.
Yeah,
1975 American League champions. Have you seen the banner?
I have. Congratulations to them. They lost.
Are you going to do this, Joe? Joe, you're better than this. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Are you going to do the Mike Felder?
Do you have any music for this or a bit, or can I just go off?
You can just go off, and as you go off, I'll find stuff that fits in behind you.
Don't take this, Matt, as, Joe, are you doing this?
Yeah, that's exactly the way I'm not. That's how I'm taking this.
Because, Matt, I want you to work in fact.
Okay.
It's not about Joe. This isn't about me. This has nothing to do with watching Good Will Hunting and saying it's about a girl.
Yep.
Okay?
What he went to go see about the girl, Joe.
But I want you to know that they lost.
I am aware of that.
Okay.
I was told that as a kid.
1967.
Yeah.
They lost.
Okay. I'm also aware of that.
1986.
Yeah.
They lost.
I know.
Okay, ready? Larry Bird stole the ball, right? Underneath the DJ lays, and then guess what happened? They lost they lost the final. Losers. My entire life, and I bet you Adam 12 as well can double down on this one with me. I'm 43 years old, and all anyone ever celebrated my entire life. So again, I blame Catholic school, but no, really, everyone in sports let me down too. My favorite player was Mo Vaughn. I love Nomar Garciaparra. How are those guys viewed now?
Well, Mo Vaughn's the greatest. No, Joe, Mo Vaughn is the greatest player in the history of baseball.
The Hall of Really Good. The Hall of Really Good.
Hit dog.
Don't speak that way. I'm not going to tolerate this.
This is it. You are in denial that we have celebrated losers for years.
What were they supposed to do?
Well, I'll tell you. You know what?
They didn't win for 9 decades. So, what were they supposed to do?
Talk about the wins.
There were none.
The Celtics had, I don't know, 18, 17 of them.
Nobody cares. It's not a basketball town. It's a baseball town.
Underneath the whoa, the Doug Flutie drop kick. Guess what? You lost. 07 Super Bowl. You lost. Oh, you know. Oh, can I Skaz, if you're awake, because I bet you're not. But I'm backing him. Skaz is so big that we celebrate Bill Parcells. He said it to me so much, I now believe him. Because trust me, I know that Bill Parcells changed the entire Patriots. I get it. But guess what? Barely 500, lost in the Super Bowl, and then left all your asses for the Jets. Loser! We are losers! And all we ever did until they won was lose. Yo, soy pet there. Losers! I'm a loser, baby. I did it. All right. Joe, don't do it. Yeah. No, I did it.
Joe, I tried to warn you. That's the theme of this show. It's me trying to warn you. I tried to stop you. You went there. You shouldn't have gone there. You have insulted my dad's generation. You have insulted my uncles. You have insulted that thing that I grew up and I was told about, like the 67 Red Sox. Hey, there are your uncles. They're rushing the field to get to Jim Lomborg. 1975, he's waving it fair. It was a great series. It was the big red machine, all that stuff. Bill Lee, I was taught to worship Bill Lee and the ground the man walked on. You, Joe, you are trying to take something away from an entire generation of people, and I think that's unfair.
Here's what's interesting, though. And I agree with you, Joe, that it is a little odd that all of these loser teams and loser moments were celebrated because the culture changed in the 2000s.
Yes.
You had Patriots teams that won multiple times. Dynasties, too, really, if you want to look at it that way, or one if you want to look at it that way, whatever, however you want to break it down. Not my problem. You have a Red Sox team that broke the curse. You had the 2008 Celtics. You had the 2011 Bruins. So it's interesting to me, I guess is the way to put it. It's interesting to me that we still look back at those loser teams that you mentioned fondly when we kind of don't have to. We can kind of take off the rose-colored glasses and look at those teams and those eras with a little bit more balance because we've now moved on from that. Back before 2000, 2004, sure, yeah, you need to have something to grab onto. You need to have something to keep you going as a Boston sports fan. Yep. But the culture changed.
Well, listen, if I sound like I'm complaining that all this town has done since I was 21 years old is win, I'm telling you, those 21 years before, we were losers.
Yep.
And it was really, it was labeled the fellowship of the miserable.
It was the identity of being a Red Sox fan.
And I just want to say, I am working in fact. You are also working in fact when you say, what else? What else did you have?
So I would argue the 1975 Red Sox and the 1967 Red Sox are two of the 5 most important teams in the history of the franchise, because of what it meant to that fan base. Here's the thing. 2004 and that thing, I mean, Joe, when you and I were growing up, this was a baseball town, right?
Correct.
Like you said, let's celebrate the Celtics, at that point it was 16 championships. The fact of the matter is, Boston's not a basketball town. It's never been. Boston was not a football town.
Agree.
It's never been. And I think we masquerade as a football town now because football is king, but at its core, at least when you and I grew up, Joe, Boston was a baseball town. You know why Boston was a baseball town in the era in which we grew up? Because of the 1967 Red Sox and because of the 1975 Red Sox. That's it. All right? Those teams are so important in the history of the franchise because it created Red Sox Nation, whatever you want to call it. And yes, they lost. In 1967, they lost to a better team. In 1975, they lost to a better team. They did. The Red Sox for 86 years were good, not great.
What about 1986? How about that?
That wasn't a better team.
No,
I didn't hear. He left it out. I had to ask.
No, I'm glad you did.
Hey, listen, 1990 when Roger Clemens, crap talked an ump and got tossed, I was pissed. Okay.
And you know why you were pissed? because you grew up in an era where the Red Sox were everything. And the reason why the Red Sox were everything was because of 67 and 75.
Okay, so now we are crediting being losers to being better winners.
Yes. Yes.
No, I like the take. Matt. The foundation was laid.
Correct.
And again, you can't fully appreciate the good times unless you've had the bad times. You can't. The highs become higher if the lows were lower. So going through those eras certainly made 2004 the highest of highs for a Boston sports fan. I want to key in on something though that Joe mentioned though, because Joe, the way that you kind of broke it up is like your first half of your life, Boston sports teams losers.
Yes.
Second half of your life, Boston sports teams winners.
Correct.
Do you miss those loser days? Because McCarthy, you can talk on this too. There's a bit of camaraderie that comes along with being a lovable loser. There was that Red Sox era, and I grew up in it as well. It was heartbreaking. 86. I told you guys off the mic yesterday. I stopped rooting for the Red Sox when I was 9 years old because in my brain they were going to beat the Mets in the World Series, and they didn't. And everybody forgets they lost Game 6 and Game 7. They could have still done it. But the point that I'm making is that there was still kind of like you had that kinsmanship with other fans that it's different when a team is winning. That fan base becomes bigger and it's a little more shallow. It's a little deeper when it's that lovable loser connection.
Adam, I think you're spot on about that. Joe, were the Red Sox bigger in Boston in 1975 or 2018?
You said 2018?
Yeah. Let's just go with the last championship. I disagree. I think the Red Sox owned this town in 1975. I don't think they own this town in 2018. Now that has to do with two things. One, the state of baseball. Yeah. It's not America's pastime anymore. 1975 baseball was still the biggest sport in the country. Obviously it was not in 2018, but because of the winner thing. Shaughnessy said this the day after the Red Sox won in 2004. It'll never be the same ever again. And you know what?
I want you to know, I agree with you. I just think I'm right too. We celebrate losers. Oh, fine. We're celebrating moments now. We're just celebrating moments, right? The one thing that pisses me off more than anything is since I've been in radio, right? I'm 17 years or whatever. My very first show in radio was the day after the Patriots lost the undefeated season. My first show ever.
Wow.
Okay? First show ever. I've worked, literally. So working in this business, teams have been competitive no matter what. And when I watch the Bruins not compete or teams not compete, that sucks. We should, in this town, city of champions, they should be competing always. Taxes be damned. Payrolls be damned. Now, the thing is now people just go to Fenway just to go now.
Yep.
Like John Henry, in his defense, can walk away from it because you're all still going to go.
You know why?
You're all still going to go.
The foundation was laid in seasons like 67
because of great moments. Yep. I hope they celebrate the championships more than the moments. That's my take.
You'll get there eventually.
I hope. Because
you know why?
When Terry Francona comes to town, we should be celebrating it. The owner should be there. There should be a plaque. You know what I'm saying? They literally, the guy who helped break the 86-year-old curse is in the other dugout, and we're celebrating 1975 losers. We're going to talk to Evan Marinofsky about the Bruins coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening.
Back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Got heated. I even slammed the door on a take.
You calm down there, Joe?
No.
Over the 1975 Red Sox. That's what gets you fired up.
We're celebrating losers, and while the guy who literally won the championship and broke the record, broke the streak, is literally right there.
Well, you are
celebrate
right
the losers.
They don't want to celebrate Terry Francona.
Yeah, I know. That's a problem.
That's a real problem.
Anyways, the Bruins are a problem. Still, I think. I don't know.
I'd rather talk about the 1975 Red Sox than the 2025 Bruins.
What about the 75?
Way more
Bruins?
compelling.
What did the 75 Bruins do? Is there anything? I mean, now they've won 1 in 50, so I don't my brain. Let's talk a little Bruins. From the New England Hockey Journal, joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub is Evan Marinovsky. Evan, how you doing today, bud?
I'm great. I kind of agree with you on your 75 Red Sox take, Joe.
Well, just so you know, it's really more that we're celebrating losers and moments more than championships, but we'll get to that later. Are the Bruins losers from the first day of free agency?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I think they are. I mean, I think this goes to show you they're a middling team, which, like, you expected a retool this year. I didn't expect them to be cup contenders. Like, their core should be a little bit better. Need more out of Elias Lindholm. You need more out of Pavel Zacha, Casey Middlestat, Hampus Lindholm, Charlie McAvoy. That was never going to put them in cup contender status. Jeremy Swayman, obviously, too. But after yesterday, I mean, they needed scoring, and they didn't add scoring. Like, they're trying to go in this direction of being bigger and tougher to play against. And, like, you want to forecheck teams hard, that's terrific. But where are the upside ads? And they were never going to get Ehlers. Besser went back to Vancouver. Like, trying to add core players in free agency is never a good idea. But you added just more bottom 6 guys, and that's where, like, they're not better. They're not. I mean, they'll be more imposing, and they'll try to drop the gloves more. But their problem is scoring, and they didn't address that really at all yesterday.
Evan, can you explain this Tanner Jeannot thing to me? I know this. What are they doing? And I know this isn't really a question, but help, please help.
Yeah, I'm with you, Matt. I don't know. I mean, again, like, going into this offseason, like, I agree they need more veteran presences in the room. They didn't have it last year. Like, I completely agree. But to bring in all these different guys, and Jeannot's puzzling because he did have that one outstanding year in 21-22 where you're like, oh God, this guy, like, this is a guy you want, huge, scoring, and he's never been that since. And to give a 5-year commitment to that guy is crazy. Like, and Sweeney mentioned it yesterday. When a guy like James Higgins comes up, opening up space for him. I hope Tanner Jeannot is not playing with James Higgins. Like, why would they ever be on the same line together? It's 2025. This isn't 2005. And so, like, again, maybe their scouting staff sees signs that he can generate offense, but, like, the other thing is, who's he playing with that's going to generate offense for him? So that's the other part that I don't really understand. Is like, okay, if you want to put Tanner Jeannot with, like, David Pastrnak, I don't know why you would, but if you did, yeah, his offensive production would go up. But he's going to be a third liner, like, either playing with Fraser Minton and or Matt Patra, or he's playing with, like, Sean Corrali. So, yeah, maybe he's harder on the forward check, hits more guys, but I'm going to need, if they're going to generate more offense, I'm going to need to see it to believe it.
Just on the Arvidsson deal, for years I watched the Bruins dump salary and have to add first-round picks, second-round picks, etc. They are literally just taking on the $4 million. Like, how did that happen? Why is that a good move? I mean, we obviously saw the guy if you watched the Stanley Cup, but now he's your second-line right wing? I don't know what's going on here. I understand competition, Evan. Like, you know what? Commendable. Great. Competition. Whee! Can they win? And I don't know. Arvidsson now top 6 for $4 million essentially just add. I don't understand the move. Please explain.
Yeah, adding the pick to it. I know Ty Anderson was quick to jump on that on these airwaves yesterday, and he did really well with that. I completely agree. Like, you every time that happens to you, you've got to add a pick to it and send it out the door. Ironically enough, Arvidsson actually fits. I mean, they don't have a lot of top 6 talent. I'm not saying he's a top 6 guy, but of the guys they have, he's your second line right winger. And look, maybe he helps the power play. Look, I'm fine with it. Take a flyer for a year. He's got 1 year left on a $4 million deal. $4 million's not great, but if he can kind of be a better version of Craig Smith, like that's where they're at, guys. They're a middling team. This is a middle of the pack team. At best, they're a wild card. At worst, we're sitting here talking about prospects 10 months from now. Like that absolutely could be the case. They have 2 first-round picks next year. So like, I'm fine with taking a flyer on a guy like Arvidsson. At least he shoots the puck a lot. At least there's a little bit of an offensive upside. It's all those bottom 6 guys that I can't get over. I mean, look, at least the Arvidsson thing, at least it was just a 5th. I know draft picks matter to this team, but they have a lot of picks. 1/5 is not going to kill them. But yeah, I agree, Joe. Like, happens all over the league. Somehow it never happens when you're bailing a team out.
What's the philosophy here, if any, with where this team is right now? I'm trying to find it, Evan. I don't know if I can see it.
The philosophy is, and I'm not defending them on this, I'm telling you what the philosophy is. The philosophy is that they want to, beat down other teams. They want to beat teams 2-1. They want to beat teams 3-2. They want to make it hard on opposing teams' defensemen when they're going back for pucks. And like, I think they do have guys that can forecheck hard, and that's great. I think their other idea is that guys like Corrali, Acimont, Jeannot are going to bring in energy, going to make the guys in the top 6 be better, work harder. I mean, they were easy to play against last year. There's a reason that when they were down 2, they were immediately down 5 within minutes. Like, that probably won't happen this year, but you still don't have offense. So, like, again, you're harder to play against. They're going to be more defensive. They should be more structured. Their goaltender should be better, but their offense isn't better. And again, like, you look at the direction they went in the deadline. They sold, which was the right move. They actually had a really good deadline. They bring in speedy guys you take flyers on. Huston-Dinoff, Middlestat. And then at the draft, they went for high upside. They went for offense. Hagens, Moore. Some of the defensemen they got are projects with high upside. Like, terrific. That's great. That's the point you're at as an organization. The other part of this is, like, you kind of want to see what your young guys you have now are going to do on this team. This team is not some, as I said earlier, they're not a Stanley Cup contender. So, like, what, again, why not see what a Fraser Minton has? Why not see what a Matt Poitras has? And Sweeney can talk all he wants about, they have every chance to make the team. I mean, they've been saying that forever. They've been saying that forever. They never do. So, like, again, like, this would be a good opportunity to see a Minton or a Poitras in a third-line center role, and you went and added 2 guys yesterday who could fill that third-line center role, not to mention guys like Kastelik and Beecher you already have.
And, Evan, real quick, I go back to, some comments made at the end of season press conference, which I think we've referenced for months now at this point with the Bruins. Is there an expectation from ownership that they do what they can to be a playoff team, and as a result, is that why they're maybe signing all these veteran guys? Is it a job security thing for Neely or Sweeney? I mean, is that a front office and ownership dynamic that's leading to that decision to not try to look at this year as a bridge year with some of these younger players?
I mean, these definitely look like Cam Neely signings. It's the kind of the Cam Neely Bruins. But, like, I don't... to me, I think their thing is... It goes back to the philosophy question. Like, I think they believe these guys they added are going to provide energy and kind of push the guys above them. Now, I don't think Sean Corrali's ever going to be in your top 6, but can their leadership, can those types of things get guys like Elias Lindholm and Morgan Geekie and Pavel Zacha to feel pressure and to get going? And can that kind of emanate throughout the room? Maybe. But I still, again, like, you shouldn't expect much from this team. In terms of playoffs, like, they're probably a wild card team if they're in it. Like, the Atlantic is really good. The rest of the Atlantic is good. You also have teams like the Red Wings who do have young talent who are trying to break through. So, like, that's the thing, Matt, is like, I don't think they were going to come out of free agency and we were going to sit here and be like, oh my God, they're contenders. Like, that was never going to happen. Even if they went out and got Ehlers, like, you still are missing pieces. But after yesterday, I this is going to be a middle of the pack team, and they're going to pick likely 14th next year with their own first round pick, and then it's going to be what are you when James Higgins arrives, likely next season.
Losers. It's what it sounds like to me.
At least this year.
Just you mentioned something. We're talking about Evan Marinofsky. You can check him out, New England Hockey Journal. You mentioned these were Cam Neely picks or signings or moves. Do you think they were Cam Neely signings or moves, or were they Don Sweeney's? And just a follow-up, should I, because this is my take on it, is they sign these guys to see if they can maybe get something. And the theme of the morning has been pump and dump. We've been saying that a lot this morning. Could a lot of these guys maybe play well on short deals and be traded at the deadline? Because, quite frankly, the best thing that Don Sweeney can do is make trades at the deadline. Could that be the type of season we're seeing, is maybe some of these guys hit and they move them at the deadline for more assets?
Maybe. I mean, Acimon, I think, is on a 1-year deal. Corrali, I believe, is a 1-year deal as well. Jeannot, I don't know who's taking that deal. That's 5 years. That's widely regarded, at least right now. The Athletic rated it like a D-. I don't know who's taking that. But in terms of Acimon, in terms of Corali, yeah, I could absolutely see it. And again, we saw with Trent Frederick this past year. You see it every deadline, those bruising, or at least people who think they're bruising, bottom 6 guys go for a lot more than they're worth. So yeah, I mean, if you can deal Acimont next year for a second or somehow a top prospect or first, all right, then we're sitting here, we'll remember this conversation and go, yeah, that was a great galaxy brain move down the road. But as of right now, they still, the other thing, guys, is their core is of contending age. Whatever you think of this core, they are in the Elias Lindholm, Hampus Lindholm. You can't keep losing with David Pastrnak, Morgan Geekie, Jeremy Swayman, Charlie McAvoy. So that's the other part of it too. We keep mentioning the playoffs. Those guys want to make the playoffs, and again, it's surrounding those guys with talent that can help them get there. Clearly, this is what they think, and I don't think they're looking. I don't think the players are looking at it from a perspective of let's deal off these pieces we just signed at the deadline. But I think us three and a lot of others, to your point, Joe, look ahead and can see that, and can absolutely see that those guys might be looked at as trade bait.
Great. Awesome. Fired up. Yes.
I've really helped the mood this morning.
Well, much appreciated, Evan. Thank you.
We're going into a holiday, Evan, so, people are going to be like, hey, man, what's going on with the Bruins? And you're going to be like, dude, I don't have enough time for this. That's what's going to happen. I got
those texts yesterday. It was great. Friends being like, oh, they got big bruises. This is good, right?
No.
No. Not so much.
No.
Not so much. But still trying this.
You know what, though? I'm gonna be here. I'm going to hopefully be here, and we talk about it every night. Evan, great job. You can check out his work. New England Hockey Journal. He's Evan Marinofsky. Thank you for waking up with us today, Evan.
Oh, thanks, fellas.
You got it. Does a great job over at the New England Hockey Journal.
Good stuff.
So, some people think we just do our job and we just crap it all over everything. It seems as though...
No, how could they possibly, Joe?
Well, no.
How could they possibly feel that way?
Well, I feel as though we've had guests and experts feel the same way we do. So
yeah, I'd say so.
So I would say that everything they've done is underwhelming.
The Bruins?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The Celtics? Yes.
Well, I think the Celtics is more... that's calculated.
What did I tell you?
The Bruins?
Did I warn you?
I don't know if the Bruins was calculated. I think they just realized...
No, the problem is, Joe, it's calculated. That's the issue. These are their calculations. That's the problem right there.
All right, well, I'll say this. If you want to call into the show, because I wanted to recap this Francona versus 75 debate that we had. But if you want to call in, the next segment is the time to do so. 617-779-0985. We'll take a quick break. McCarthy's going to get you caught up in headlines. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sing along, Joe.
Carl Yastrzemski. Carl Yastrzemski. Carl Yastrzemski. One power he has our boss.
I screwed it up. My dad and my uncles would be so pissed that I didn't get that second time through.
Good trombone line in there, though.
Really good.
Yeah.
Strong. Don't you love it? Don't you love it, 12?
It's bringing me back. My dad loved this one, too.
How could you not?
What was it like? What were the other ones growing up?
Well, if you go back to 67, I'll rack up The Impossible Dream for you guys. We'll probably need that for this segment.
Well,
right?
that's off of The Impossible Dream. Because that was not 75, that was 67.
That's right.
Yeah, my whole first half. It's true. The whole first half of my life, the Red Sox were nothing but losers. I loved Nomar Garciaparra.
How could you not?
I found out his dad's name was Ramon.
Nomar backwards.
Exactly, and that was cool. I was high on Trot Nixon before, right?
7th overall pick.
He was Lou Gorman's final pick.
Yep.
Didn't we do that with who's the guy with the Patriots there? Ernie Adams' final pick?
Trey Nixon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How'd that work?
Not great.
Trot Nixon, though.
The Dirt Dog.
Was that self-proclaimed or was that given to him?
No, that was not self-proclaimed like Mo Vaughn's hit dog. It was given. It was hard-earned by Trot
Listen,
Nixon.
Mo Vaughn was cool enough to give himself a nickname. Can we all agree with that? No, turn your mic off. If you're not going to agree with that, turn your mic off.
Listen, there is this weird Mo Vaughn song. So, again, I was Mojo growing up. That was my name. When Mo Vaughn went at George Bell when he chased Aaron Seeley, that was a big moment in my life.
Yes.
Like, this is what I mean. We're celebrating moments of losers.
Moments.
Yeah. I will never forget, I got my Nesson pan flip in the mail. And it was like, because I think Mo Vaughn led the league in walks the year before. And so the pamphlet said, do you think they'll be pitching around Mo Vaughn this year? And when I opened it up, it said, no way, Jose, with Jose Canseco.
1995, right? 96, 95?
95.
Canseco was on the 95 Red Sox, wasn't he?
95.
Losers.
But the point, Joe, you keep saying it. Yes, it's true. But I think you're being dismissive of the fan experience in those days.
I am dismissing everyone's feelings.
Who am I really to say as a millennial born in 1991? My point is I was indoctrinated into that thing. My dad,
and now I'm gaslighting
my uncles.
you.
Yes, you are making them feel bad.
Yeah, I'm gaslighting everybody.
I am defending their honor.
Yeah, you are, but you're not. You're in denial that we celebrate moments. Again, 1975 is being celebrated at Fenway Park.
Should it not be celebrated?
Well, I don't know. I'd rather celebrate Terry Francona.
Okay. We should have been celebrating Terry Francona for the last 10 years here. Every time Terry Francona has come to town a million times. And yes, they really have not celebrated him because ownership has issues with him. He has issues with ownership. Those are two separate things. Are you saying that they should not celebrate the 1975 Red Sox?
No, you should. Go ahead. Have fun. You're celebrating losers. Go ahead. So there was a lot of championships here, Matt. A lot of championships.
Mm-hmm. But not for that era?
I feel like they should be celebrated more.
So you're saying that every 70-something-year-old Red Sox fan, that they should not get their moment?
No, get your moment. But 04 was your moment. That was your closure. We don't have to celebrate that anymore. You got 04. Then you got 07. Then you got 13. And then you got 18. Now it's unacceptable what's going on.
You think people celebrating the 1975 Red Sox is unacceptable? So somebody's entire fan experience growing up is unacceptable. That's what you just told me.
No, I won't take away what people want to celebrate. I just think you're celebrating losers. And again,
Joe, they did not win.
1975, 50 years ago, when Terry Francona won the championship and he's in the dugout and they aren't celebrating him, I think it's whack. I think the priorities are in wrong place. You're putting your energy into the wrong thing. Sorry.
You just brought back whack. That's how passionate you are with this take.
Hey, listen, the 1996 Patriots, one of my favorite teams of all time, right? What happened? They lost. They They lost.
You love that team, though.
Yes.
Is there a part of you that celebrates that team?
Yeah, I want them to bring the jerseys back.
Yes. Yes.
Are they going to bring back the 96 team this year? Are they going to do it?
They should.
Why should they when they've won 6 championships? Why should they? Do they bring it back 07? Are they doing that too? Ow! Ow!
That's different.
No,
07 is different.
No, it's not different. We're crossing sports, so it's different?
No. 07's different because they had already won. They had already obtained success.
Okay.
1996 means something to a fan of a certain age. You know why? Because they had never done it before.
Okay.
That's why you should still celebrate 75 and 67.
Awesome.
They had never done it before.
I'll get a replica ring for you. I'll get the ones that have the AL champions. I'll get that ring.
So
I'm doing a show, Polar Park, July 26th. Yep. I'm getting AL champions rings 1975. I'll have them.
Should we celebrate? I don't know, the Bridgie Celtics.
No.
And you know why you shouldn't? Because it's the Celtics. You had never done it before.
What, losing in game?
You had done it a million times.
Losing
before.
in game 7s to Jeff Green? No.
The Celtics had already done it before. So you shouldn't celebrate that fan experience. Mm-hmm. And you have done it since. But for the Patriots of the 90s, you want to celebrate the 1996 Patriots? Go nuts. Because that team means something to you, Joe. You know why that team means something to you?
Yeah.
Because you had never experienced it before.
Cool.
The 1975 Red Sox means something to somebody of a certain age.
I didn't live it, so I
didn't live it either.
I can't tell people how to feel.
I didn't live it either. I'm just defending the fan who might be a little bit older and cares about that thing. And you know what? You have a right to care about that thing, unlike Joe Murray, who's going to tell you you don't have a right to celebrate it, to feel badly about it, unlike Mike Felger, who's going to crap all over the 1967 Red Sox, but then tell you all about the 1982 Brewers, because that meant something to him as a fan.
Oh no. My only thing is I'm localizing what's happening right now. They are celebrating 1975. Right? The shirts, the music. Let's get the new seats, right?
I thought it was a great production last night. I enjoyed it.
Matt,
I thought Nesson did a great job with that last night.
You're doing a good job. But to localize it even more, they are celebrating 1975 while the manager who won 2004. Hang on, don't stop.
I'm going to roll my eyes at you. They're separate.
They're not.
Yes, they are, Joe.
That's spitting in the face of a guy who they smeared out of town.
Joe, they've been spitting in Terry Francona's face.
So let's do it more. 1975. Losers. How about you two winning people? Hall of Famers. Why are you throwing losers in our face?
Why are you bringing up the Terry Francona thing now? He's been coming back here for 15 years.
As I said, I'm localizing it. I'm not manufacturing a story. I'm telling you it's happening now.
It's all Boston. There's no reason to localize anything. I love Angry Joe. Adam, we've made him snap.
We've arrived.
Oh, that's great.
Don's in Carver,
Don, he's on my side on this.
Wow. Well, I originally heard the phrase dumbing down, and I said, that's my cue. So I jumped in, and I want some right-handed bats in this lineup. I want the wall dented. I don't care. Bring Garcia up. Bring anyone with a right-handed bat. Now, as far as the years that matter to me, I'm an old cat, man. I was born in 1945. I had to grow up in the 50s with Don Budden at shortstop, when Dr. Strangeglove was at first base, Dick Burnett and Bob Tillman were at first base.
God.
1967 all the way. I had standing room seats. I was 3 years out of high school.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, from that time on, everything changed. The Red Sox became the story every single year.
Yeah.
Before that, it was nothing.
You're trying to take that experience away from Don, Joe. And that is what I will not stand for. He didn't have anything until the 1967 Red Sox came around.
Don Button. Sam's in the car. Sam.
Hey, guys. I'm about Joe's age, but I kind of agree with both of you. I feel like the Red Sox, they're probably the team that I would probably say was the best in the last 20 years, because they're, 4-0 in the championships, where all the other teams The Patriots are 6-3. The Celtics are 2-2, and then the Bruins just suck. They choke away, championships like it's drinking water. So I would say though that yes, half of we do celebrate losers here, but I don't think we should celebrate the teams. I think we should just celebrate the players that were on those teams, because if they didn't win, then that's the point.
Thank you.
Joe's trying to erase history.
God. Well, you know what? I'm only working in fact. Anthony's in Milford, Anthony.
Okay, first of all, McCarthy, these old people weren't in cryo in 04, 07, 13, and 18. They got to enjoy those years, too. They don't need 1975. Second of all, Joe, I want to back you up. Do you see the Yankees throwing parades for the 03 team that lost to the Marlins?
Different experience. You're not the Yankees. You never have been the Yankees. The Yankees have been so much better
than the Yankees since 2003.
Please, you're not the Yankees.
What? How many rings do they have? 1 since 03, McCarthy? We've got 4. How many World Series have they lost since 03? Are they going to be celebrating those teams in 20 years?
I'm dropping.
Are they going to be like, man, we almost had it versus
facts
the Dodgers?
versus facts.
Thank you, Joe. I'm on your side, man. McCarthy, you're just reaching too hard. Don't fall.
I don't even want to be right. I just want to make my point. I don't want to be right. I just think that we're celebrating the wrong things.
So hold on. The guy says, you've won 4 championships since the Yankees, and they've won 1 in the new millennium, right? But let's not pretend that we're the New York Yankees here. Come on.
Adam. What's up, Adam?
Hey, guys. How's it going? I think I have a solution everybody can win at. It's the timing of the celebration. You do it at opening day or the final game of the season. You don't do it when the Reds are in town. So ultimately, you're just celebrating the Reds winning a World Series.
Thank you. With the guy that won the World Series for the Red Sox, it's Matt. You know what it is? Mm-hmm. I'm pissed off that they're doing it in front of my face. I don't want them to celebrate the Reds winning with the guy who won the championship in 2004 in my face. That's what's happening.
You got to get the Francona thing.
They're doing it to you, too.
I'm enjoying it.
I hate this.
I know. Joe hates history.
No, it's not history.
No, he does. Yeah, you hate history.
Guys, today when you watch the doubleheader, right, just remember the Cincinnati Reds won in 1975. Remember that. In 1975, you lost. Yes. And it's going to be smeared in your face all day long today.
Because the Reds were better than you.
Yes, and you know it.
The Cardinals were better than you. And the Yankees have been better than you forever. That's just the way it is. Joe, I'm just embracing my place in history as a Red Sox fan. Let's just acknowledge what the Red Sox were. They were losers for 9 decades.
Can you acknowledge that they're going to show you to your face today that the Reds won, and they're going to show it to you while your team sucks and while your team isn't going to make it to the playoffs again, and the ownership isn't spending money, and this stupid robot is telling you about, flexibility and assets, and you're just going to sit there and take it?
Yeah.
You're better.
Joe?
You're better than that.
What do you want me to do as a Red Sox fan? The team sucks.
I don't know. You crap all over the team all the time. You can't crap on them for doing this in front of your face? They're doing this in front of your face.
Why don't I crap on the Red Sox for the reasons to crap on the Red Sox, not celebrating a bunch of old guys that meant a lot to a bunch of old people?
So team sucks, fine. Yep. Parade, losing, great. Out on that. Out. Yeah.
Hey, man, I got to let you go.
All right. All right, fine. I think it's not even that I'm right.
Well, you're not.
It doesn't matter if I'm. My point is, today when you watch those games on Nesson, just remember you lost, and that they are literally showing you the manager of the current team was the guy who you won with, and you suck now.
Yeah. So you know what? It's making me forget how much the Red Sox suck now, Joe.
Okay.
It's a nice little gift.
I'm sorry for going late. I took calls. I got yelled. It's 8 a.m. And we'll have more next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, men. Summer's here. Longer days, warm nights, vacations, date nights. And if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction,
Just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox and the Reds had their game suspended last night due to the rain. They'll resume at 2:30 this afternoon with the Red Sox leading 2-1 in the top of the fourth inning. No outs. Roman Anthony and Carlos Narvaez driven in runs for Boston. Game 2, 7 o'clock tonight. Celtics signing forward Josh Minott, reported 2-year contract worth $5 million. Bruins making nearly 10 moves yesterday on day one of NHL free agency. Victor Arvidsson coming over from the Oilers. They also signed Tanner Jeannot to a 5-year contract, $3.4 million per year. Also forward Sean Corelli. More on the Bruins moves coming up in a moment here on Toucher and Hardy. And the NHL is expected to finalize plans today to send the players to the Olympics in Milan next year. Headlines are brought to you by the new burgers at the 99. Like the new Bourbon Onion Burger. Their half-pound, 100% American Angus beef is sure to please. You gotta love the Nines. I'm Matt McCarthy on Boston's Home for Sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub, your next update in 30 minutes.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's Home for Sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Got Matt McCarthy here. Adam 12's in the building. Ryan Beaton's in the back. We're doing a bit. Adam 12's going to handle this. Just want to welcome in our intern, CC Cam.
It's great to be here.
From Ithaca College.
Oh, the best of the best, Joe.
You know it.
And that's where Matt McCarthy went to school. I did not.
Go
Adam
Bombs.
did not.
WICB represent, baby.
Ryan did not. So, Mr. 12.
Yes.
Does anybody ever call you that? Mr. 12?
Occasionally, sure.
What do we have here?
We have a game called Boston Bruin or Ithaca Bomber. And I guess because we have CC in the studio, we got a bit of a ringer. You guys have a shot at getting a lot of these right.
One would hope.
We got talking after the show yesterday, and we've been discussing during the show today, like the take of who are these guys?
Yeah, no, really, it's the major league moment. You know, you guys were dropping names into the Slack yesterday. Oh, the Bruins have signed this guy. The Bruins have signed that guy. And it really is, who the F are these guys? I've never heard of them before. I still don't know. I've seen their names. I still don't think I could identify them.
And we're going to play around with that a little bit. It was Ryan Beaton who put this list together. Ryan Beaton, he grabbed some names from some new Bruins. He grabbed some names from some Ithaca Bombers. The Ithaca has a club hockey team. Is that correct, Cece?
They do.
Okay.
How do we not have a real hockey team?
I agree.
CC?
It's crazy.
Like Division III, where it's a good sports school for Division III. Why do we? I mean, it's a frozen tundra.
In upstate New York. Yeah.
How do we not have it? Get on that.
Yes.
What does CC stand for?
Cecilia.
Cecilia. Okay. It's a song, Cecilia, right?
Yep.
I'm sure she's heard it.
Oh, yes.
It's like every girl named Rhiannon. Hey, did you know there's a song? Yes, we're aware of that. Yes.
No, I swear, everyone lately, I started working at Braeburn Country Club, and I tell my name, Cecilia, and they're like, oh, have you heard the song? I'm like, yeah, of course, I've heard of the
She
song.
just turn it into a bit and just always say no.
Adam,
Yeah.
I'm going to get, we got to play the game because I'll ask a bunch of questions.
Sure. Okay. Well, we'll get again. The game is Boston Bruin or Ithaca Bomber, and I'm going to give you this list of hockey player names that Ryan Beaton put together, and you got to guess what's what. And we'll start with, what? Oh, and that's the other bit too. Is I specifically didn't research how to pronounce any of the names because I thought, A, that'll make the bit funnier, and B, it'll make it harder for you guys to guess.
I like this.
Usually I would go, especially, as you know, with hockey player names, you got to go and
we went
make
to the
sure.
school of Howie Sylvester.
So when you hear me mispronounce these names, please don't tweet and email.
Yes.
I'm doing it on purpose.
He's going to mispronounce them because he didn't go to Ithaca,
Exactly.
where he would learn how to pronounce these things, obviously.
Exactly.
Who's been paying attention this morning? Mikey Esamon, is that a Boston Bruin or a Ithaca Bomber?
Guys, that's a Boston Bruin.
Absolutely.
I'm very certain that's a Boston Bruin.
Yes.
1 for 1.
Because I had to give a layup to the headlines guy to start things off with today. Okay, so let's go to Wade Messier. Is Wade Messier a Boston Bruin or an Ithaca Bomber?
You know this guy, Cece?
I do not, but you know what? I'm gonna go with a bomber.
It's got to be a bomber.
Bomber?
I've never heard of that guy
Yeah.
in my life before.
That's a bomber.
Joe Murray saying bomber. Everyone say we're unanimous for a Ithaca Bomber.
Yeah.
All
Guys are
right.
2 for
The
2.
Bruins need a Messier.
Well done, well done. Victor Arvidsson. Victor
Bruin.
Arvidsson.
That's a Bruin.
That's a Bruin, exactly. See, you have been paying attention. See, so maybe it's not so much of a who are these guys.
Yeah, more
Maybe
on
we're
there.
already getting to know these guys.
Okay.
And by the way, Matt McCarthy, you know this game from being a big baseball fan. There's a big, I guess for lack of a better word, meme online of let's remember some guys. Deadspin used to do it all the time. Let's remember some guys, and it's like what we did on Monday with the late '80s wax packs, junk wax baseball players. These guys that are on this Bruins roster that I'm feeding to you in this game. 15, 20 years from now, those will be the let's remember some guys.
Name a dude.
When
Remember
it comes
him?
to the NHL.
Oh, I remember.
Remember this guy? How about Luke Cavalin? Luke Cavalin, is that a Boston Bruin or an Ithaca Bomber?
I'm gonna go
Luke
Ithaca
Cavalin.
Bomber.
Ithaca Bomber.
Probably has to be.
I think it's Ithaca.
Yeah.
Ithaca.
You guys are incorrect.
No.
Yes.
Who is this guy?
Couldn't tell you, but I know that he's a Boston Bruin because
he a
that's what it
wing?
says on the sheet.
Like as in like the NHL Boston
You
Bruins,
can look
right?
him up. You can look him up.
How do you spell this guy's name?
Cavallin.
Cavalin.
Cavalin.
Yes, Luke Cavalin. You can give the information on that, Matt McCarthy.
1 year entry level deal.
There you go.
I'll be damned.
How many goals?
Anybody want to guess? Joe, no goals. You know why?
Because he sucks.
Because he's a goalie.
Oh, he's a goalie. How was I supposed to know that?
This guy plays for the Bruins, huh?
Allegedly.
He,
I guess we'll find out.
He played last year for Trois Rivières in the Trois. I believe that's three rivers.
No.
And that's
French.
going to be the fun of the 2025-2026
Jesus.
Bruins season.
Buckle up.
Getting to know some guys. Benoit Bataille. Benoit Bataille.
Has to be a Bruin.
Yeah, I agree.
Are there any guys at Ithaca named Benoit?
No.
They weren't there when I was
I
there.
feel like we're being duped here. I'm
I
going
know.
Ithaca.
You're going Ithaca on this one?
I'm gonna go Bruin.
Well, Joe Murray's got it. Joe Murray got
It was
that
too
one.
easy.
Benoit Bataille.
I mean, of course, you would think a French guy would be on the Bruins, but they don't have them. So
I've heard, Joe, they just draft local guys.
that's right.
So, I mean, they're not.
I felt like I was just following the breadcrumbs on that.
Did
one.
that guy play for the Bombers or did he play for the Eagles? Well, if he played for the Eagles, then he's probably a Bruin.
I almost suggested that.
Yeah.
And then when you guys, I was like, let's just go Ithaca.
We got kids from Quebec now up there? What the? Wow. We're getting very diverse up in Ithaca.
Matej Blumel.
That's a Bruin, and I'll tell you why.
Tell
Because yesterday when he was signed, Ty Anderson said he had no idea who that guy was. And if Ty Anderson says you have no idea who that guy was, that sums up the day the Bruins had yesterday.
I assume the two of you are going with Matt McCarthy on this one?
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
going
Because that's an
riding Matt on
authoritative. That's
this
an
one.
authoritative answer, and it is a correct answer as well. Yes, and that is again another case of these are some guys. If Ty Anderson, of all people, doesn't know who the hell you are some guy in the NHL,
Guys,
or AHL.
Providence Bruins are going to be awesome.
Oh, that's right. Awesome. Better off going to those games. All right, I've got 4 more for you here. Let's give you, we'll do 3 more because I know you're going to know that one already because it's come up on the show a lot this morning. Man, again, with these names, all these names. Mike Lopokine. No, Mike Lopokine. Mike Lopokine.
Bruin.
You're going Bruin on
Yeah,
Mike
because if you guys can't
Lopokine.
figure it out, it's got to be real.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say Bomber because I don't know this guy, but
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bomber.
You're going to go Bomber? Well,
Yep.
guess what?
I'm going Bomber.
Intern CC and Matt McCarthy got that one. That is an Ithaca Bomber right
Wow,
there.
I bet you he's scoring a lot of goals for
Yeah,
that Ithaca
right.
club team.
Jonathan Aspero.
He just sounds like a Bruin, doesn't
Yeah.
he? Some Bruin you've never heard of, riding the bus between Providence and Boston. Jonathan Aspero.
Yes. Asperat, maybe?
That's a Bruin name right there.
The T on the end?
Yeah.
That's probably a Bruin.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Cece?
agree.
You want to go Bruin?
Yep.
Bruin it is. All right, now this last name.
What position does he play?
Well, look him up.
What's his name again?
He's halfway back on the bus, and he's in the seat on the left. That's his position.
What's the best food in
Riding
Ithaca?
back and forth.
Oh, there's a bunch of really good spots.
What's your favorite?
Oh, there are now?
There weren't back then.
Oh, God, no.
Really?
Not on campus.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously not on campus. Ithaca food is terrible.
Okay,
really, really
what's
bad.
the best?
Ale House.
Really? Okay, well, there's this new place, Secret Gem,
Okay.
Taco CMX, street taco place.
Really?
Phenomenal. Yeah.
What do you got?
$5 tacos. I usually get the carne asada.
Yeah.
And switch it up between the birria, polio, a couple different, but
Look at the
phenomenal.
look on Joe's face right now.
I know.
That
sounds good.
Joe's planning his road trip as we
Ithaca.
speak.
I'll go to Ithaca.
Because he wants the food, and he wants to watch the Ithaca Bombers team because he knows all
Right.
these names
Exactly.
now, and
You hang
it
out
could
with
end
the
up being a better product than what the Bruins put on.
Can hang out with the
Yeah, you can come hang with Luke and I.
Intramural. That's right. My intern is also Ithaca as well.
Who does Nilu Chirchirillo play for? Niru Chirchirillo. Last name on the list.
Bruins. Has to be
Bruin?
Bruins.
I don't
Are
know
any kids
about-
named Nilu at IC?
Yeah, probably. Probably not.
You guys are going Bruins?
Yeah,
CC,
probably.
do you want to stick with the guys on
Yeah,
this one, or do you
I'll
want to
go
go Bombers?
Bruins.
Okay, well, you ended on a sour note. I'm sorry to say. That is an Ithaca Bomber.
I don't think we did too well.
To wrap up our name, well, you did better than expected.
So we did a bit. We guessed. We failed. And did okay. Which is probably the Bruins.
Not representing IC well right now.
Joe, how did we fail but also do okay?
Well,
how's that happen?
I feel as though we tried and gave it a good college effort. The old college try.
Got to celebrate the loser moments.
I'm all. You know what? I'm all for it. I do love a good loser moment. What's
cool about Ithaca?
The downtown.
Yeah.
Awesome downtown.
Really great downtown.
Waterfalls. Gorgeous.
Ithaca is gorgeous.
The lake. The hills. Making fun of Cornell kids.
Yeah, exactly.
WICB Ithaca, obviously. Come on.
100%.
What's like the state food, or like, is there like a something there that's like, oh, this reminds me of Ithaca?
Like regional, you're talking about, right,
like,
Joe? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, is there something about like, oh, reminds me of going to Ithaca?
You can kind of get anything there. It's a college town, so you can get, you can get but college, like street food, like tacos.
Like when I think UMass, I think the Hangar, you know, or Antonio's Pizza. So I think I got one of those.
Yeah, it's a college town. You can, the Nines closed down years ago, but it was like the best pizza spot. So,
all right,
you can get cheap food, cheap, good college kid food at 3 a.m. What more could you want?
You can also do that.
Pastas and pizza.
Oh, here we go.
Exactly.
All right,
Order it to your dorm room.
Yeah.
Any college town, Joe, you can get the best food at any hour of the day.
All right. Well, CC Cam, Cecilia.
Yes.
Is this your first time on the radio?
It is.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
What, Joe? What do you expect? She's a WICB kid.
I just wanted to tell her she woke up this morning and you did great.
Well, Joe, I actually have a really funny story. So I grew up listening to the show, actually, and big Bankroll Boy fan.
Whoa!
And so
Thank you.
My dad and I would listen to the show driving into school. And one Christmas, my dad got me a Bankroll Boy shirt.
Holy smokes!
Yep. And my dad,
moving merch.
my dad recently moved, and I was cleaning out all my old clothes, and I found the shirt. And so I was planning on wearing it tomorrow for
Dude,
you.
awesome. I'm gonna we're gonna take a photo and send it to your dad. How's that sound?
Yes, that sounds
That
great.
is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That merch, baby. Pushing that merch.
Yep.
That's how you make the big bucks.
Well, Cece, you're a star. Moving up in the world. All right. Thank you,
Thank
CC
you.
Cam of Ithaca College, joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Brian Robb is here. What is going on with the Celtics? We'll do that next here on The Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy. have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Zone.
It's a bummer because he was a perfect fit here. Loved the Celtics.
I'm going to be fading by the 9 o'clock hour. I'll tell you that. It's a lot, B-Rob.
Well, Brian Robb of Mass Live, Celtics beat reporter, contributor here at 98.5 The Sports Zone. Joining us in studio, lives minutes down the road. So during free agency, we can just call you and you can just show right up.
I would come for you guys whenever. I just like to hang out.
Wow, that feels like
I'm going to hold you to
shot.
No,
I'm not going to lie. That feels like a real shot at the normal folks on this show. Like, I'd come for you guys. Well, thank you, Rob.
No, I'd come for anyone here. I'm begging to come on the show.
Yeah.
But it's good to see you guys. Been fun listening to you guys all week.
Thank you. B-Rob, if you had Brad Stevens and Mike Zarin in front of you today at a press conference, what would be the first question you would ask them?
First question would be, what's the budget here? What's the spending power for both now and the future? Since that I think is very much an open question at this point, and strategically there's plenty of ways to go about it, but the cuts that have come already and the ones that potentially may still be out there will be fascinating to see how those guys just navigate it.
How concerned should I be?
A little bit. This was coming. We knew that bigger cuts were going to need to be made this year regardless. That was coming down the pike for 2 years, Matt. And then Tatum's injury kind of, I think, streamlined it, sped it up, if you will, and maybe led to deeper ones this year than expected, because this will be obviously a season where it will be very hard for them to be a contender in any way, shape, or form. So, but yeah, I there are open questions now for down the line when you let so much talent walk out the door or traded out the door. Finding ways to replace that becomes harder and harder in this new CBA era, and so we're potentially getting to that point. If Al Horford's also out the door here for nothing, then there's a lot of work to be done to get this group back to contender, even for holding on to Tatum, Jalen, and Derek White.
Guys, mind if I take for a second here?
Take.
Because I need B-Rob's opinion. I think the NBA is punishing teams that draft well and sign stars. The Celtics are trying to reset a tax that they've paid for how long now? And it is about the money and resetting the tax. But it's their fault that they drafted well. They signed their players, gave them max contracts. Because now they have to make these. Do they have to make these moves, Brian Rupp? And do you think the NBA does punish teams for drafting well?
It's certainly, the new CBA does not. They don't reward teams for drafting well, that's for sure. Whether a team can be built around two supermax players like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in this new era is an open question. It's going to be, could they do it? Probably. Is it a lot harder to do? Yes, without a doubt, in terms of the restrictions they put in. And so getting under the second apron now makes all sorts of sense for the basketball part of it. The luxury tax stuff, Joe, where you have to get out of the tax now for 2 years to kind of reset that. Technically, if they are able to withstand like the money loss, throughout that, they don't need to do that for basketball reasons. That is just strictly being like, are we better off holding back some money now and then spending more of it a year or two from now when Jason Tatum's back and that team just is worthy of having, a $250 million payroll or whatever it is at that point. So that's the thing I think people will need to be watching for here is it's like, are we saving now to spend later?
Can you walk me through that? So if they get out of the first apron,
yes,
they have to do it for 2 years and then they reset all of their tax penalties.
Right. You have to get, so there's the first apron is kind of irrelevant here. It's for penalties going. It's second apron.
Luxury tax penalties.
Exactly. Luxury tax. There's a luxury tax line. That's like the first thing. And then there's certain things you can't do if you go over the first apron, and obviously very, very bad penalties if you go over the second apron for future basketball team building stuff. So ultimately what the Celtics are looking at here is, do they want to get all the way under that initial luxury tax line? So they'd have to cut about $20 million more from the salary this year to do that. So that's some potentially painful cuts here. That's saying goodbye to Simons or Sam Hauser or Niang, like some combination of that. and then you have to do that potentially again next year, and then your luxury tax penalties going forward are much lower. Essentially,
what are those luxury tax penalties? Are they basketball related, or is it strictly
strictly
finances?
money? Strictly finances.
So we're going to find out Bill Chisholm's intention with all of this real fast.
Yes,
I mean not
real fast, but yeah, in a year or two,
Right.
yes.
So this is what you and I talked about yesterday, Matt, which I was in denial about.
Trying to warn you, Joe.
B-Rod, what I have been saying to the listeners is it's like being at the blackjack table. The Celtics have been full tilt for about 8 to 10 years, right? Mm-hmm. Full tilt. Now they actually have to cash in some of the chips, and they got to regroup a little bit.
Yep.
I thought it was 1 year. This is going to be a 2-year thing?
If they want to, so I think that's the debatable part of it, because do you want to not throw away, like they'll compete with, if Tatum and Brown are healthy, they're going to compete in the East. But are you going to hold back spending in a year those guys prime just to reset the tax? You can make a case for it. I would think with Derek White also in his prime getting in his 30s, like you can't, I think you need to spend that year
It's
too.
a waste.
Right.
And you're talking about next year after
26, 27, when Tatum comes back.
If I may just be consistent here, the Warriors pay every year, right?
Pretty close to it.
Other teams are paying every year. Now, I get it. The Clippers have their own. Forget about all that.
Yeah.
Teams are paying every single year that are competitive.
Yep.
The Bucks owe, how many bills do they owe? They still owe in the Drew Holiday trade. Like, they owe teams assets still.
Right.
Like, they're not going to go bankrupt, and they're still going to pay. They just signed Miles Turner.
Well, they're going to be under the, like, so what they did, Joe, last year, the Bucks got out of, like, they reset everything now. So they're spending all this money. They're probably going to be a little bit over tax, but they've cut down their spending by a ton. But yes, like by and large, in the last 5 years, the Bucks have been in the tax pretty much every year.
So essentially, the Celtics are saying that they're going to take basically 2 years off to just adjust the tax during the prime of Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Derek White.
Well, they're not. That's. I know Chris Forsberg wrote that. I don't know if that is the play. Like there is.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to do it 2 years in a row to reset. You can do it another year, a few years down the line. You have to be out of the tax 2 out of 4 out of the next 4 years to kind of reset it. So when you want to do that is up to the team,
right?
And what makes sense.
So here's my takeaway from this, B-Rob. We knew the Celtics were getting out of the second apron this year. Now, I think they technically went over it with this signing last night.
Yeah, that can be changed quickly.
Okay, so
it will be.
The question is this a 1 year financial reset or is this a multi-year financial reset? And that we don't have the answer for.
Exactly.
And my concern is that it's a multi-year financial reset based on Bill Chisholm's business history. This is a guy who's gone in, bought companies, bought organizations, and he specializes in carve-outs. He trims the fat. He takes the part of the company that's successful, which is, in this case, Brown and Tatum, and then trims everything else. That's how he's made his money. And I'm concerned he's going to run the Celtics the exact same way.
I don't like this. I've been an advocate for the Celtics, Brian.
You have.
They made other teams tap out with their style of play. And this year they tapped out to the New York Knicks. This is what I'm really upset about.
And now they might be tapping out financially.
The New York Knicks made the Celtics tap out. And now the Celtics are going to tap out when it comes to spending money?
They might.
We don't know.
Allegedly.
We don't know. You take the step back this year because it just why are you spending $300 million on a team without Jason Tatum? Just like logic. Like that, this team, they've been over the tax for the last 3 years. They've spent big when they've had the chance to compete every year with the core. They've added to it. They got their title. Mission accomplished on that front. Now comes the pivot. And how hard of a pivot it's going to be is going to be fascinating because, like you said, with Tatum and Brown and Derek White, those guys, they're not in their mid-20s anymore. So every year for those guys is really important. And so when Tatum does come back, you don't want to see them necessarily shortchange that team just because there's a better, you set up your team better for the next 5 or 10 years. That's a debate right there.
Just to mention what Forsberg at NBC Sports Boston wrote, if the Celtics avoid the luxury tax in each of the next 2 seasons, the team would be positioned to splurge in the summer of 2027. Boston could restock their pieces around whatever version of Tatum, Brown, White, or the core that remains and spend at least 2 more seasons pursuing titles. You're saying that they could not pay a tax this year, splurge the next year, but then not they can split that up, whatever.
Exactly. They can split that up. You got, as long as you do it twice in 4 years, you can reset that tax essentially.
But it looks like they're going to try not to pay a tax this year.
Yes, there's a lot of work to be done. Like, I think more painful trades will be coming if that's the path they want to do. But if Al Horford is out the door, it certainly makes sense to start that process now. And then when you finish that process will be the bigger question.
Who's on the way in regards to trades? And I don't know if we want to do this.
Yeah, I was going to say I would like B-Rob to give us a pain meter. I want to know the pain of what's the. Think about it. We'll break. Meter. I need you to think. We're here. You're here. I need you to think. What's the most painful here? Because what's the most painful for me is they're not competing for a championship. That's number one for me. They're not competing for a championship this year. I can go back to when they've got Kyrie Irving, right? Al Horford. Remember when they couldn't get free agents, right?
Sure.
Then they had the Kyries, the Gordon Haywards, right? The Kemba Walkers that they traded for. Like they did all that and it didn't work. And then they were like, hey, let's just go with the guys we actually drafted. And it worked. It worked. Then they get all the way there and they say, bring in Drew Holiday and Porzingis, and it works. They kind of faded. And now they're going to lose essentially 4 pieces if Horford leaves off that group of 9. Oh, and the number 1 scorer, rebounder, assist guy on the team. Oh, this isn't good, B-Rob.
It's a tough hand.
That's like getting 12s at the blackjack table. I never liked 12s. You know why? Next card's a face card. You're out. That's the porking.
It's the only case where a 12 is bad.
Correct, Adam. Correct. All right, I want the pain meter. I want to know the pain. In this collective bargaining agreement, how it really doesn't let teams like, the Thunder are going to be for the next 5 years, they're going to be the greatest team. Uh-huh. Did you see the SGA contract?
A lot of money.
He's going to make more money than the Miami Marlins. We'll take a quick break. We'll get the headline here from Matt McCarthy. We got Brian Robb in studio, everybody, here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Red Sox and Reds will resume their suspended game from last night.
music in the morning. Okay, here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the reigning NBA MVP, Finals MVP, and the Oklahoma City Thunder have reached agreement on a 4-year, $285 million super maximum contract extension. That makes him the highest annual paid player in NBA history. He got every penny of that supermax contract, and this is the second long-term contract extension that he has signed in Oklahoma City.
I'm just going to start calling him SG Paid. I can't believe. Oh, you know what? MVP of the league. Won a championship. What can I say, right? Back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Matt McCarthy's here. Brian Robb of Mass Live in studio. I asked you about your pain, but just reported just a little while ago here. The Celtics have interest in a player that was just released. Per The Athletic, Celtics among the many teams interested in Damian Lillard. Waived by the Bucks yesterday. They're going to stretch that one out for a while, huh?
5 years.
That's
a lot of pay. That's a 10 on the pay meter.
Oh, boy. Stretching. That's a good torture method right there, when you really think about it.
Lillard will be 36, right?
Yes.
Miami's always coveted him.
Correct.
The Warriors would be interesting. I'm just thinking of where he could end up. But Boston's probably on that list. Veteran minimum. Sit for a year.
Yep. 2 years. You'd even throw the Celtics, what they could do if it comes down to this, they could throw the mid-level exception at him for $5 million.
To beat out other teams.
To beat out other teams. If that's what it takes. It's Lillard. So, yeah, he's coming off an Achilles. He's actually going to be 36, Joe, by the time he comes back. But at the same time, it's like that's a flyer you have to take, given your situation. So, from a role standpoint, from a fit standpoint, you can say, hey, look, like you can come here. You don't have to be the guy, but you will be like we just lost Drew Holiday. We just lost Porzingis. We're probably going to lose Al Horford. We're going to need reinforcements here. And that would be a huge boon for, the 26-27 season if you're able to.
Two guys coming off Achilles. I feel like, haven't we seen this story before of like, well, they've got, a bunch of older guys coming back from injuries and, they'll be good to go in 2026, 2027. I mean, I would still do it too. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like I've seen that story a million times in the NBA before. And I feel like it almost never works out.
I would do it because the likes of Luka Garza and Minot are not. You can give an analysis on those, but the Minot kid is interesting to me. But Garza probably not. But Brad's been in on him.
They like Timberwolves deep bench guys, I guess. I don't know. It's like, I get it. They want to you want to pluck the next diamond in the rough, and they did. I mean, they've done that. Like Cornette was that. Like Hauser was undrafted. Like they've had success there, and to build a contending team going forward, you need one of these guys to hit in some form. So they're taking a few lottery tickets, if you will, and seeing what sticks there. But yeah, to your point, Joe, it's like what in the next 2 years when you don't have any spending power anyway, what's the alternative to like Lillard or more of these guys? So I would go for Lillard.
Talking about pain, did you see the pain on Brian Robb's face as he tried to get himself amped up to talk about Garza and Minot? Sorry, B-Rob.
This is where we're at. The people who have covered the Celtics or other green teamers have been like, well, they can do this, and he might be a fit here, and no, I'm not doing it. It's all about money. It is all about the money.
Who's going? B-Rob.
Yeah, let's do the pain meter. Who you got? Who's number one?
Simons, I think, is top of the list as far as most likely guys to go. $27 million on that deal. The problem is, you look around the league, he was available from Portland for Drew Holiday for a reason. We're finding out now because not many teams around the league need a point guard that makes $27 million a year. Like, he's a good player. Mm-hmm. He puts up 20 points a game. Defense is an issue. But obviously that's a lot more cash than the Celtics want to fit here if they want to get under the tax and their own payroll. So that's an easy one. I think Niang is someone, it would be a fun story, Massachusetts guy, but that's another $8 million that you could probably get out the door even easier.
We like local guys.
Yeah,
here, don't we?
Like got Felger on the board.
listen,
Felger will really get fired up about being in uniform next year.
Sensitive subject, I think.
Right. But regardless, that I think he's certainly a candidate to go. And then I think the swing factor would be Hauser. I think the Celtics want to hold on to him. But if they're truly want to get under the luxury tax and no one's taking Simons because it's too much money, then you might have to pivot to something like that.
So how much does relationships matter here? Jaylen Brown kind of lost his guy. We had Noah Delzell, and she said maybe we might have overrated the relationship between Brown and Porzingis. They were cool. They did videos. Yeah. Isn't it funny? The video that they did was in Atlanta. And
that's right.
And Porzingis goes, I could live here. And then boom, there he goes. So welcome to Atlanta. But he doesn't have a lot of his guys. But JT's got Derek White, Joe Mazzulla. If my pain meter's white, and keep an eye on this one today. The NBA has said happy birthday to Derek White today. Haven't seen him. It's 8:51 in the morning, B-Rob, but this is the stuff.
I bet it's coming.
If I was on the night show, I would have called it out at 8:51 at night, too. I will tell you right now, I'm waiting for the Celtics to drop the old happy birthday for Derek White.
Listen, we're still celebrating Joe Mazzulla's birthday. I don't
That's
know if you
true.
heard that. Jimmy Stewart program, Monday night, 98.5.
Derek White's 31 today. That's the guy I would move.
It's when you look at the pain that could be in play, like the next. If those guys we talked about are first options. If deals aren't there for those guys, or just those deals become too painful, and you're like, okay, how can we realistically build another contender when we're giving up assets to get rid of those guys? Then that's obvious why you listen on Derek White, you listen on Jaylen Brown. If you get the 4 first-round pick offers or the 2 promising young players and a couple first-round pick offers, then, yeah, you have to think long and hard about that. Like, other teams are going for it now all over the league this year. And so is one team going to look at either of those guys and be like, that puts us ahead of the pack, and we need to get Jaylen Brown or we need to get Derek White, and we're going to overwhelm the Celtics with stuff until they can't say no. That offer obviously has not emerged yet. I think the odds of it have gone down with the fact that the draft has passed, so some of those assets are just used at this point, but there's still plenty of teams out there that have a ton of stuff that they could throw at the Celtics.
Should they? Should they consider trading Brown or White?
I would not, unless you have to have a secondary plan. Like, tell me what you can get with all the stuff you get for Jaylen Brown or Derek White.
It's not just we've accumulated
Exactly.
assets. We're using these assets for X.
Exactly. If you have that plan, if you have like those 2 or 3 steps in place where you can go around and shop around what you are getting with an offer and figure out, okay, we can get another star in here that makes $40 million, and so now we can build a better team with Jason Tatum and that guy and Derek White and whoever else is left, then yeah, you absolutely need to consider it. But if you're just stockpiling draft picks or young guys that may or may not turn into something, then that's just kind of, in my mind, that's like, okay, but what's the actual plan here? Because Tatum, like I said, you don't want to be throwing away years of guys' prime at this point, and that's what you would potentially be doing in that front.
Well, it's not over. It hasn't happened yet, B-Rob. So I'm not going to get on them just yet, but the moves they have made have not shown that they're going for a championship. Did you meet Ugo Gonzalez?
Yes.
No H, right? So
no H.
Ugo Gonzalez. Did you see his hands? Did you hear about this?
I heard about the hands. I didn't look close. I forgot to look closely at the hands.
Biggest hands in the draft, bigger than Kawhi Leonard.
The claw.
The claw. The claw. We got to come up. We got to get a name for this guy. But I do like that they. I don't know if they're going to contribute this year or at all. But I like they went 3 kind of international players with experience in college, multiple schools. I don't know what Ugo is going to do, but I did like the kid Amari Williams from Kentucky. I don't know if he'll contribute.
Yeah, it's all those guys. Everyone's going to have a chance in this team, Joe. This upcoming season, like look at the depth chart after the top 6 guys. It's all guys who've been in the league for 3 years or less. Mm-hmm. Like Nemi's like a veteran on this team now. And so, yeah, you're going to figure out who can give you something. It's going to be a new experience for Joe Mazzulla for sure because
he loves rookies.
Yeah, exactly. Like rookies for him, like he's going to have to be okay with some losing and be okay like seeing some guys take some knocks out there, if you will, when they're on the court and learn because there's going to be a lot of that this year. And so, but yeah, the question is with these guys, is anyone going to pop? Is anyone going to be able to be able to contribute to this team in a year or two in a rotation as a cheap piece, because that's ultimately what they're taking a bunch of flyers in these guys, and hopefully one of them sticks.
I know we're up against it. I have to ask you, what's the deal with Missoula's contract extension?
I asked the team whether could be further clarification after Brad's comments. There isn't any. I would just say, he's clearly safe for a while at this point, and whether or not whether the original reporting on the deal went beyond 4 years, whether there's a team option in there, I think that is an open question. But it's safe to say that they like Joe Mazzulla a lot. Joe Mazzulla is not going anywhere. When will we hear about an official contract extension this summer? We'll see. But yeah, that's his security in the organization seems very strong.
You going to get a sit down with Steve Pagliuca or what?
We'll see. That was we know what he wrote on in his remarks when the deal went down.
Tax be damned.
Yeah. Listen, I'll say this strategically, we talk about teams like the Warriors did a reset year too. Before, when Kevin Durant left, Steph Curry got hurt, they got the number 2 pick. They got Wiseman that year. So a reset year, everyone, I think, should be on board with this year, to some extent. You want to compete with Jaylen Brown, but you're going to have to do this at some point. Every team has to do this at some point. It makes sense to do this when Jason Tatum is down. My bigger question is, what does a year from now look like? What does the next season look like? And how quickly are they ripping things back up?
B-Rob, my final question. When Jason Tatum got hurt and Brown needed the surgery, I said that they should sit both Tatum and Brown for the year. Tank, in quotes. Next year's draft is loaded. I'm telling you, there's probably 5 to 10 legitimate high school kids. Forget about college players. Next year's draft is loaded. Batanz is the big kid from Brockton, right? Going to BYU.
Sure.
Is there a chance that they prioritize protecting Jaylen Brown this year along with Jason Tatum?
Given Brown's history of his knee, of course, would he maybe start sitting him some back-to-backs? I would keep a close eye on his minutes. Derek White's minutes have been high in general. You don't want any of these guys to have serious injuries this year. You've been running them into the ground for a while anyway. So to answer your question, Joe, they're going to compete, but I don't think any of those guys are going to be averaging 35, 40 minutes per game, because if one injury hits to any of those main guys, then things could go south in a hurry from a standing standpoint. And like you said, that might not be the worst thing in the world in a draft class like this.
No, Matt, this is losers now.
But I don't think that's not the plan. That's not the plan for them. You have Jaylen Brown, you have Derek White, you have Peyton Pritchard, you have whatever is going to be left after more dealing is done here. It's the Eastern Conference. Who are you scared of in the East? The Knicks?
Nobody.
The Cavs?
Nobody.
On any, you're not going to be favored, but you could beat any of those teams if everything goes right.
I would have liked the Pistons if Malik Beasley didn't.
Have you read more about this? How the debts and stuff?
I already did my investigation. He's guilty.
No, B-Rob.
Dude, he couldn't pay for his dentist. He's collateral, literally, his future contract on it. Hey, I'm going to make a big deal. I'm a free agent this year. I'll pay you that. No,
not great.
I don't. That's wild. Wild.
He had made $50 million at that point. That wasn't his first big deal. I couldn't believe it.
He's guilty.
Could not believe it.
When the feds come knocking on your door, it's a different story.
So if you ever need one, B-Rob, Game 7, Celtics, Cavs, Terry Rozier. See how he shot that game from 3?
Was it 0 of 10?
Oh, yeah. Oh. Smelly.
Game 7.
Very smelly. Smelly. Dude, look at his previous games. He had 20-point games. He was awesome. Literally goose egg in a Game 7.
Well, the whole team was on it because no one could shoot in that game.
Hey.
So I think a game, I'll give him a pass for that one. It was just, that's nerves. But the rest of the stuff, obviously, I don't know. He was cleared for an investigation. Is that the latest?
That's what I heard yesterday.
So
I'm opening it back up.
Detective Murray.
Yeah, Gumshoe. Yeah, remember we started the show with Carmen Sandiego.
You have advanced well beyond the rank of Gumshoe.
I am a Gumshoe. I'm sniffing that one out. Rozier got cleared, huh? Because everybody shot bad that day. Yeah, and LeBron. It was LeBron, right? They went to the.
Yes,
they went. Okay, that's why he's cleared. It was got LeBron into the final. All right, B-Rob, great job, sir. We appreciate you driving in. This has been informative and also scary.
Buckle up.
But
Thanks
you know
for
what? You were transparent, and that's all we can ask for. Check out all of B-Rob's work at Mass Live. He's also a big part of the Gasper and Murray show as well. All right, well, sorry, Adam 12. I'm late. We'll go to break here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Smelly.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, guys, summer's here. We're talking about vacations, barbecues, beach days, and long nights with the people you love, and that means, of course, amore. And, wanting to be attractive, vital, that comes, can be a little bit more difficult with age. And as we age, men in their mid-30s, early to mid-30s, start losing 2 to 3% of their testosterone production every year. And that just continues as a rule as you age. And that is where Northeast Men's Health comes in. If you're feeling any of the effects of aging, there is such a thing as testosterone replacement therapy.
here. And second round action at Wimbledon. Aryna Sabalenka on the court right now. She just got underway. Carlos Alcaraz scheduled to play at 10 this morning. Coco Gauff knocked out in the first round yesterday. Headlines are brought to you by the new burgers at the 99, like the new Bourbon Onion Burger. Their half-pound, 100% American Angus beef is sure to please. You gotta love the Nines. I'm Matt McCarthy. I'm Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update, 30 minutes.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Half toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Oh, another edition of In or Out here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Thank you for the collaboration, Adam 12.
Oh, I told you at the beginning of the week when I found out that I was going to be working with you and producing you for a week. I'm like, we got to get In or Out on the morning show. It's a great segment.
Well, thank you.
I'm of the Fred Toucher ilk. I enjoy listening to Joe Murray in the evenings on the Sports Hub.
Well, I appreciate it.
I never know what I'm going to get, but I know I'm going to like it.
I don't know either.
That's the best part.
I've been learning that. I've been learning about that firsthand this week with you filming it.
But seriously though, what is this like? Because I've worked with Joe for the last, 12 years. Joe, you and I have done a million shows together, and I know to never come in prepared because that's just, well, frankly, a waste of time.
Sure.
How has this experience been for you? Because you're so buttoned up, you're so prepared, you're so professional, and in walks Hurricane Joe.
Well, it's been great because Hurricane Joe's been like, okay, cool. Like I've had no temper tantrums. I've had no pushback. Joe's just like, hey, great, cool. We'll do that. If you want to do that, we'll do that. No, I think we should do this here. Okay, great. We'll do that there. Awesome. It's been fantastic. And watching his brain work in real time is something to be seen.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. That was a compliment. Yeah,
I'm very humble.
Depending on who that comment was coming from, maybe it wouldn't be. But
well,
compliment coming from me.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So this segment is In or Out. You're either in or you're out.
Or you're out.
And I try to call it a judge-free zone, but with Matt McCarthy around.
There's way too much judgment.
Yes, that's right.
Passing judgment on you, really at every turn.
That could be something you could develop is like, Matt McCarthy not judge-free. Like,
oh no, I'm filled with it.
No, what I'm saying is there's some sort of something with Matt.
Yes.
That it's like, judge me. Go ahead. You know how people want the smoke? I'm going to judge you. There's something there.
How about McCarthy's Court? You can use the old People's Court theme. Yep. Dun, 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 dun.
Or it could just be a McCarthyism.
There you go.
Put people on the list, Joe. Put them on the list.
Right.
There's no relation. Would just like to say
there's something to it though. Yep. McCarthy judging. I don't know. There's something there.
It runs. It goes back to the old country, Joe. It runs with that name. It just kind of comes with it.
All right, what do we got today?
Well, since you just had Brian Robb in for a couple of segments, and we're talking all things Celtics, which was great. Thanks again to B-Rob for coming in. There's one thing you didn't get to that you had mentioned in our Slack conversation yesterday. The Celtics offseason moves are trending toward a scenario where Peyton Pritchard will move from sixth man to starter in the 2025-2026 season. Joe Murray, Matt McCarthy, are you in or out on Peyton Pritchard starting for your Boston Celtics?
In. Given what they have, in. No need to keep him on the bench. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's going to just be dependent on the minutes you play. But in on it.
I'm in on letting him start. Do I think he's best for a team off the bench? Probably. A championship team?
Yep, but they're not that.
Exactly. So in. We agree.
All right. In on Peyton Pritchard, starter. Let's talk about. Oh, you know what? I have a couple of interesting Netflix things, and one of them actually dovetails with the conversation we had earlier this week. David Fincher's American version of the hit Netflix show Squid Game is set to begin filming in LA in December. We talked earlier this week about if we're in or out on sequels to movies from decades ago. We talked about Beetlejuice. We talked about the upcoming Spaceballs sequel that's going to be out next year. So my question in this case is, are you in or out on American versions of hit TV shows and movies from other countries?
Well, The Departed was one of those. In.
The Departed, I didn't know that about The Departed.
I think it was based on a... Is it a Chinese movie?
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm in.
You're in
for that because I watched The Departed last night.
So if you're out on this, you have to be out on The Office, right?
Yeah, because The Office would be European version?
Yeah, it's the British version.
Yeah.
Well, no. The Office is the British version came before the American version, so that's why I'm out on these. Usually, I can't. Here's my take. If I can't think of an example where the American version was an improvement on the original, then I have to be out on this. I don't know from Squid Game. I didn't watch it, but I know from all of those great Japanese horror films from the 2000s, like Ringu and The Grudge, that the American versions were okay. But you go and you watch the original, and it scares the bejesus out of you. Well, much, much better.
Yeah, I think I'm out on this.
Okay.
But it's hard because I think there are going to be examples of where something might be better here.
And The Office is probably a good one. I prefer the English version of The Office because that was my first exposure to it. So that was my frame of reference, even though I know the American version is better, right?
Yes.
And that's the prime example of the remake being better than the original.
Best thing that ever happened for British comedy and maybe Irish comedy, subtitles.
Oh, yeah.
Here's what it's just, they speak a little bit faster. It's just a little bit more fast paced. And I find myself, because you're not as used to the accent, you're going back and you're like, oh, that was legitimately hilarious. Subtitles.
And really, the way things are produced now for these streaming services, I'll ask you this, Matt McCarthy, Joe Murray. Are you in or out on subtitles on all the time, no matter what you're watching?
In. I never thought I'd be this guy in.
Same. My kids are the ones that got me into it. They were asking, hey, can we throw the subtitle? I'm like, what do you need subtitles on for? It's it's just easier for us to follow
I watch
along.
wrestling with subtitles.
Wait, live?
Do they throw the grunts and things in? And booms?
They tell you the theme music. Yeah.
Oh, that is kind of cool, actually. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just because I think I'm addicted to the... Even when I do videos for TikTok, I'm using
that's a great place to have it too, because a lot of times people want to watch your content, but they can't have the sound on, so it's good. Hey, listen, anything that makes it more accessible, I'm all behind. That's one of my big flags that I like to
real quick,
okay.
when I was growing up, two things that kind of popped in my head when you were talking about this. Mr. Bean, right?
In on Mr. Bean.
As a kid, I didn't understand it, but I watch it. The other one was Monty Python's.
Okay, were you a Monty Python fan?
So
How could you not?
I was a fan, but again, I was like, what is this supposed to be?
Right, it's the humor is very
different.
Because as a kid, you don't, I was Adam Sandler.
Right.
Now I'm getting Monty Python's, and it's like, and I know they were before, but
yeah.
Actually, it was like Cheech and Chong too, right?
Sure.
Like I'm getting Monty Python's and then Cheech and Chong, and I'm. But yeah, Mr. Beam's another. I never understood the comedy, and I get it now, but it took a long time to what is this funny or not?
I'll ask you guys this: are you 2000s and 20 teens? Are you fans of Tim and Eric? Awesome show, great job. Are you fan of Eric Andre? That style of humor, because that's very absurdist, and it's not exactly like Monty Python and Mr. Bean, but it certainly dovetails with that.
Meh.
Yeah, because it is. It takes a different kind of brain.
But
to
Tim
find
Robbins
that
and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I'm in. And I think I was late to the party.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But he's
fantastic.
We're all looking for the guy who did this.
Sure about that?
Sure. All right, let's stick with Netflix. America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, will air on Netflix for an 8-episode run starting on August 19th. Are you in or out on the Cowboys Jerry Jones docuseries?
In on the glory hole.
I think I'm out.
Really?
I'm out.
Okay.
It's not... It's more of a me problem, guys. I have a commitment issue when it comes to TV. There's so much good content out there. I haven't consumed really any of it. So am I actually honestly going to consume this? No.
Do you have the issue that I have, Matt McCarthy, where there's only so many hours in a day?
Yes.
And I just don't, if I'm going to commit 2 hours to watching television, whether it's a movie or a television program or part of a series, I want to maximize that time, and I don't want it wasted. I don't want to come out of the 2 hours and go, that movie sucked. I wasted my time watching it, or I watched 3 episodes of this show. I don't like it, and now I'm not going to watch the rest of it.
Huge factor.
Okay,
no doubt about it. All right, so
I'm glad
I have
I'm
not seen Breaking Bad all the way through. Do I know it's incredible? Yes. I've seen bits and pieces of it. My girlfriend in college watched ahead, and I still haven't recovered from that because I just didn't. The commit. How many episodes is it?
Is Breaking Bad
like 6 seasons?
6 seasons, I believe.
So what are we talking about? 80 episodes?
You have Breaking Bad, then you have to watch
then
the
you
movie.
gotta watch
El
you have to watch
Camino.
Better Call
Saul.
So I don't have the time for that. I can't commit to that. And do I know it's incredible? Yes. I've seen it. I know how good it is, but I don't. It's the time thing, man. I can't make that type of commitment. 7-part miniseries in. I know I can do that. Full 6 seasons of anything, even if it's the best thing ever. Haven't seen Succession. I'm sure it's great. Can't do it.
That's why I watched
Can't
the
do
Poop
it.
Cruise. It was 55 minutes.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
Right up your
amount of
alley.
time.
Let me give you guys a couple more. Aaron Judge will be the first MLB player to appear on a package of Big League Chew. Up until now, the packets of shredded bubble gum have just featured illustrations of baseball players, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Are you in or out on Big League stars on pouches of Big League Chew?
Out. I feel as though video games growing up that weren't baseball rights, like Bad News Baseball and like other stuff like that, I don't want the real people. I want I want that fat guy on the front. It looks like he's got dip in his cheek.
I want Sleeve McDykel.
Yes, I want characters, not real, especially Aaron Judge. Out.
Okay. Wow. What if they had gone with a Red Sox player?
Out.
It's still out. Okay, Matt McCarthy.
In. We need to get big league stars in front of kids any way we possibly can.
What's the card that makes fun of there's a set of cards that I'll get back to this.
Wacky packs?
No, but the Cabbage Patch Kid.
Garbage Pail.
Garbage
kids.
Pail.
Yeah.
You know they don't have a Red Sox? Garbage Pail. I looked.
Yeah?
I tried to buy the Red Sox. They don't have a Garbage Pail Kid.
Interesting.
That's whack.
That is whack. Second time you brought whack into the conversation.
Or should I say out?
You're bringing back whack.
Whack is whack.
That's crack is whack. Don't do it.
Whack.
All right, one more. We'll go into the world of music as we round out today's edition of In or Out. Black Sabbath's early demos set to be released to coincide with the band's farewell show, Earth. The legendary Lost tapes will be out on July 25th. Their Back to the Beginning final gig is streaming this Saturday. Actually, so this is happening this weekend, but it's going to stream our time Saturday morning at 6 if you want to get up early after your 4th of July festivities. Are you in or out on getting up at 6 on July the 5th to watch Ozzy and Black Sabbath one last time?
I couldn't possibly be more out on this after this week. And I'm not a Black Sabbath guy. So
I like Black Sabbath. I like Ozzy. Actually once saw Ozzy at Gillette when the Patriots came out. He did the Crazy Train.
Yeah.
You know what? I think we're at a point where we could probably AI Ozzy.
No. Once he's gone, he's gone.
No,
that's it.
He's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
It's funny. I pushed for this for years of before Ozzy's gone, let's do one more Black Sabbath big show, him and Bill Ward, make up and all that. And now that it's here, I've done a 180. I'm like, oh yeah, I have no interest in this. It's just going to make me feel sad. These guys are so old. Have you seen any of the footage of AC/DC's most recent tour?
I went.
They're
he was
old,
there.
man.
Yeah, it was pretty slow.
And that's not a knock. I'm glad they're still out there playing, but it's just you do get to a point where the rock and roll fantasy is eclipsed by the fact that you're looking at 80-year-olds on stage, and is cool. You can dress cool and you can still have some energy like Mick Jagger does, but again, it just gets to the point where the sadness overtakes the joy.
It's AC/DC was a rough experience.
Was that your first time seeing them?
I'd never seen them before, so I wanted to see them. And, I did have that, I wish I had done this.
That's the conundrum,
years
right?
ago.
It's like, this is a classic band. I want to be able to say that I saw them, but, do I want to see them in this shape?
I saw The Who with Mike, and they looked old.
Yeah.
They rocked,
The Who were really good, though.
They rocked.
They were really good.
And they're also now, they've got a younger rhythm section, so that kind of helps things out, but getting old's tough, gentlemen. I think we're gonna do we're gonna do one more in or out tomorrow morning. I think we're gonna do an all food edition for Joe Murray.
Oh man!
Because I got one food thing that came up in my conversation with my girlfriend last night that I was not aware of, that I thought that Joe would salivate over. So I want that, and I want to talk about some other food related items for tomorrow's edition of In or Out.
I'm so sorry to be missing that. I'm going to miss you guys tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's right. You're off
Are you
tomorrow.
going to sleep in?
No, I'm not off tomorrow. I get I go into the afternoons.
Oh, okay.
What happens, though? Are you going to
nice.
sleep in?
Yes, I'm going to sleep in, Joe. Oh, yes. That's going to happen.
Okay.
I mean, I can't sleep in too much because, we got to be... We need takes in that email chain.
Felger's email will be ready at 6:15, which very hard worker, that man.
Absolutely. He is an organized gentleman, and
Yes, he is.
you know me, I appreciate that.
In his words, he should be, is what he said.
Yeah.
What's the last one?
That's it.
Oh,
That's it.
for some reason I was anticipating another in or out.
That's okay. I'll have more for you tomorrow.
Man, a big league chew. Do you guys like in or out on Fun Dip?
In on Fun Dip. It takes forever to eat it, and that's what's fun about it. With candy, you want to eat it all right away, and then you're like, the candy's gone. Fun Dip, you're working that thing for an hour.
And you know what
going
else,
through
too?
the different pouches.
You can eat the stick.
Oh, yeah, you can. Doesn't taste real good, but by that time, you're so high on the sugar buzz, it doesn't matter.
I know.
Oh,
Out.
That's
chocolate.
That is
I like chocolate, too. I prefer chocolate, but I'll still mess up a couple packets of Fun Dip.
that is a preview of tomorrow's in or out. I don't know if we got emails, but I'm hot on something again.
Oh, good.
It's about the Red Sox again.
Okay.
I thought I was out on the Red Sox, but yet you're right. It's in my blood to be pissed about them all the time.
He's snapped this morning.
I got another one today. There's a doubleheader today. Not happy about who the starter is. We'll tell you who that is coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. They suck. Pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. You can do this and that. Pump, dump. They've been dumping all over us.
My simple daddy, don't you know that things go in cycles?
Beaten.
Great job, Ryan Beaton. That was MC Hammer. Was it Hammer then or MC Hammer?
Who cares?
Pumps.
Doesn't matter.
And a dump.
It's a Ryan Beaton production for the ages.
Well, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. That was about earlier. I said to Matt McCarthy, I think the password, Mr. Garcia, is Joe Hingston. Whatever the hell you call him.
Stinkston, I think.
Yeah, it's 5 different ways I've heard right now. But
you're not going to have to worry about it because they're trading him at the deadline, Joe.
Well, listen, right-handed hitters at Fenway Park, I think they should look into it, Matt.
No, they probably should try to find one. Yeah. Here or there.
So I crapped on the Red Sox again, not because of this year.
No, because of something they did 50 years ago before either you or I were born.
Yes, we weren't born. I feel as though tonight, when there's a doubleheader, I'm going to be at the game tonight. I have not been to a game since the one-game playoff versus the Yankees in 2021. That's the last time I've been to a Red Sox game. I also work nights, so, when am I going to go? So I'm going tonight. And I'm telling you, when you watch all day long, the coverage is going to start at 1 o'clock today, everybody. And you're going to hear about the 75 Red Sox who lost all night. They're going to show you the Reds who beat them all night long. The manager of the Reds right now is Terry Francona. They're celebrating a loss from 50 years ago instead of the man who was the manager of the 2004 Red Sox.
See, this is where you lose me, Joe. Terry Francona has been back here how many times over the last 15 years?
That's fine. I'll pause there then. Let's bookmark the Francona thing.
Because that's a valid discussion. I just don't know if it's as valid as in this moment.
Today, they're going to celebrate 50 years of 1975, which had multiple rain delays, and it got rain delayed last night. Louis Tiant deserves to be. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He should be. But to parade around a loss from 50 years ago, I think it's a little embarrassing.
I think you're wrong. I think that team means a hell of a lot to many people, those who lived it. And I, unlike you, Joe, don't want to take that away from them. And I don't look down on them just because they didn't grow up in as successful an era. I, as a millennial, don't look at them and point and laugh, unlike you. You are pointing and laughing at the people who care about it. You're trying to erase history.
Yeah, they're celebrating a losers.
Yep. So you say it's their fault. You're blaming them. You're holding every dude born in 1948 accountable for this. You're holding my dad and his brothers accountable for this.
Well, they had 2004 too.
Yes, when they were older.
So there you go.
Their 50s.
Then 67, 75, 86 is over.
So they can't have anything up until then. So you can't have 1996.
I cannot have 1996.
You don't feel anything for that team.
I love that team.
No, no, you can't. You can't, Joe.
No, I don't want to.
No,
I'm not going to because
but you said you did.
No, I love that team. But they're losers, and their coach lost and bailed on them and went to the Jets.
So you should never acknowledge them ever again.
We should acknowledge that Bill Parcells is going into the Hall of Fame this year for the Patriots, but yet bailed on him, was under 500, and is a loser. Now, that's a Skaz take, not a Joe take. I'm just backing my guy. And you know what? You say it enough, I might believe it.
You're starting to believe it. But
can I get into something on the actual field?
Sure.
Doubleheader today, right?
Technically, yes.
Genius, though, to have Brian Bayo, the vampire, start the suspended game instead of the night game where he pitches better at night. Am I fair to critique that one, Matt?
Yes. You're leading 2-1.
I don't like him pitching during the day. He's called the vampire for a reason. And I think tonight, him starting the day game in a suspended game. I'm out.
I don't like it either. You can manage this from a bullpen perspective. What the Red Sox are trying to do, Joe, is I think they want Bayo to go 6 innings, and then you have a fully rested bullpen for Game 2. They're up in this game 2-1. The problem is the pitcher himself.
Did you see who got called up today?
If this were Garrett, well, maybe if it's not Crochet. If this were Lucas Giolito, who's been good for you recently, yes, I'd go Giolito in Game 1. You hope to get 6 innings out of him. There you go. And then you figure it out for Game 2. Bayo's the problem. I'm sorry, who got called up today?
Oh, the guy that came over in the Rafael Devers trade, Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson?
No, who's the guy that got called?
Harrison?
Harrison, sorry. Anderson, Harrison, whatever. Does it matter? The lefty.
He won't be the 27th man.
Oh, I thought I just saw a report that said he was.
No, he won't be.
Well, then,
the 27th man.
Who's starting tonight?
They might go
Does
bullpen.
it matter? Does it matter?
It depends on how Game 1 goes.
Whatever. I'll be there tonight.
You going to enjoy it? You going to have fun? Are you going to protest the 1975 Red Sox?
I'm going to be.
Are you going to?
You know what's really messed up?
You know the 75-year-old man who has a tear come down his eye because that team meant so much to him as a young person. Are you going to go up to him and shame him? Is that what you're going to do?
Well, you know what it is.
You're going to go up to Pops and Gramps and tell him how wrong he was to have that experience when he had nothing else.
I'm going to be hanging out with the legends tonight.
You're going to be in the Legends suite?
Correct.
I hope Fred Lynn comes in and kicks your ass.
I hope he does too. But he's got nothing to do with this.
You called him a loser for 3 hours.
Well, they lost. He would agree.
Sorry, I was doing something. Well, did we do a whole show with Joe Murray just slamming the history of the Red Sox, calling the 75 and the 67, the 86 teams losers? But he's going to the game tonight, and he's going to the game in the Legends Suite?
That's right, yes. He's going to be face-to-face with those guys.
This might be the greatest heel turn I've heard on this station in a dog's age. Amazing. Reverse heel turn, really.
If I saw Dwight Evans, I would say that he's a great player, and I think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree with that.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
But people celebrate a bunch of losers. How do you feel?
I think you should go up to Dwight Evans and call him a loser.
No.
I think you should do that. You know what? I think you should go up to Jim Rice and call him a loser.
You know what? I don't think Jim Rice is a loser.
Because he was hurt in the 75 World Series?
He's got an excuse.
He's got
an excuse.
Dewey's 73 years old. He would still kick your ass.
Yes.
No doubt.
Dewey could still play a better outfield than anybody else on the team.
Of that, there is no doubt.
It's like in the movie Ty Cobb, and they were like, well, how do you think you do against today's pitching? And he's like, I'd probably hit like 260, 270. Remember, you hit 340, whatever it was, a lifetime. He goes, well, I'm 75 years old, or 72 years old. Like, he thought they were asking,
like in
how,
the moment.
like if you went as 72-year-old Ty Cobb thought he would still, if he went back into the league that day, would hit, about 260, 270. And Joe Murray's saying, if they slotted Dewey in right field tonight, he'd play a passable right field.
The best outfield.
1 for 3.
There's a lot of great outfielders over the years for the Red Sox, right? Just left field alone. Mm-hmm. But nobody taught me how to field a ground ball in the outfield better than Mike Greenwell. The old knee down.
Yep.
Gator.
Does anybody do that anymore?
Maybe that's what they were teaching Roman Anthony in front of the cameras.
But wasn't that like a patented thing? Like, I feel like I should make T-shirts that say Gator and just the knee down, fielding a ground ball in the outfield.
Yep. Merch.
But like that like Tony Pena, remember?
Careful, Gator will come for you. You got to get his permission first.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to. Yeah,
he's sensitive.
He is.
Well, he wants his copyright, like Wade Boggs.
Yeah, sure. It's only fair.
But Tony Pena, remember, he had the stances with his legs way out and everything. I'll celebrate those things. I'll celebrate some cool like.
What did Mike Greenwell win, Joe?
Well, he batted 300 for his career.
No. What did Mike Greenwell win?
He is a loser as well.
He's a loser.
Yeah.
Your childhood hero is a loser.
Yeah.
The teams you cared about, losers.
Correct.
Therefore, you, loser.
I'm a loser? No, I'm a winner. Half my life has been all winning.
Well, you cared about the 96 Patriots.
Celebrate.
You're a loser.
Since I have been in the media, all we do is win, no matter what.
It's all you, Joe. Thank you for that.
Well, I mean, Since 07, it's been pretty good. Therefore, I think I've won. So I think I'm a winner in this one. And I'm going to the Legend Suite tonight.
That takes some balls for you to walk in.
You know what? I'm going to take photos with all the legends tonight. Should I?
Please do.
Yeah.
This is a segment for tomorrow's show, and I love it.
How do you get into the Legend Suite? Meanwhile, here I am defending the honor of the 1975 Red Sox out of respect to my dad, my uncles.
I got invited. I know.
Hobnob
I can
with
get you. I
Fred
can get you
Lynn.
into the game if you want. I mean, I got to ask a guy, but
Yeah,
you know,
I
actually have a ticket.
Good for you. I'm so proud of you, Joe.
Yeah.
Are you going to save the? Are you going to get this one?
I can get it graded.
You can get it graded.
I can send it out to PSA.
See what the
1975 50-year anniversary ticket.
Yep, that's got to be worth something.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, it ain't worth anything. You know why?
Why?
Because they lost.
You're such a dick.
We'll wrap this thing up here on the other side. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, the Red Sox and the Reds will.
Oh, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, unsponsored stack. I will collaborate if you want to.
You're going to get it sold.
Sponsor the stack and the night show.
Yes.
You can get both. Maybe a little YouTube action.
Yeah, maybe get like the stack and in or out, you know?
I think that could.
It's a good pairing.
Yeah.
Couple of signature bits.
Yep. Yeah.
This guy's a natural salesman, isn't he?
Yes.
Well, the problem is I can't get it out of me.
Right.
Like
and
now,
once you have it.
Yeah, it's just now it's like, hey, speaking of that, I brought up lobster rolls the other day. I mentioned a place. They reached out to me and they said, hey, our listener said, and I said, that's great, man. Got a couple football seasons coming up, you know? You want to do something?
It's the power of the Joe Show right there.
Let us know.
The reach.
This is the stack.
Yes.
I wrote a couple of things down.
Please.
The Celtics must have been listening because they did send out the happy birthday to Derek White. I think they were a little late, but, you know.
They did it before 9 in the morning, Joe.
It's okay.
Joe, you and I are up. I don't know if you noticed this week because you're normally a night show guy. We're up early for this shift. The rest of the world doesn't really get going when we have gotten going. I know it feels like it's about 2 in the afternoon right now, but the day is starting for most people kind of now.
Okay. Well, listen, I burnt the midnight oil. I am prepared. I look into those things. They sent one right for Joe Mazzulla right away. I'm being hyperbolic. Whoa. What's going on back
someone's going bananas back there.
Very excited for Paul Perillo's arrival.
There you go.
Paul Perillo's here, huh?
That's right.
I love Paul
Midday
Perillo.
today.
Beetle, Pip, Kendra.
I saw too.
That's your midday show.
That's
solid.
That's good. Refreshing.
McCone out.
The Red Panda. Do you like the Red Panda? I got to tell you, that's one of my favorite halftime acts. Growing up, if I can be nostalgic for a second.
Please.
I'm not celebrating it. I just wanted to make mention that the old Foxboro Stadium at halftime, they used to do Frisbee dog shows.
Oh.
And
you're a big fan of that?
I loved the Frisbee dog show at the old Foxboro with the metal seats. Because what else are you going to get at halftime?
Halftime show entertainment. That's a good. You know what comes to mind? The New England Blazers. Lacrosse.
I remember the Boston. Yeah.
Oh, they played out in Worcester at what we used to call the BC Entrum, because, you know, I'm a BCN guy, so we used to call it the BC Entrum. And I remember I was probably in middle school, and going to a New England Blazers game. And their halftime show was the Coors Light six-pack dancers, sponsored, of course, by Coors
sponsored.
Light. And they brought out 4 cheerleaders, and the gentlemen who were sitting behind us had been drinking Coors Light for the entire first half of the lacrosse match. And they had some very ribald things to say about these cheerleaders that came out that to my 12-year-old ears were something new. Yeah. And my dad and my uncle were getting a big kick out of. So
if I did baseball, I would, you know how you put the head on the bat and you spin the wheel,
that old joke.
That would be funny.
Yeah, sure.
Frisbee dog show.
We could do that here.
We could do
during
that
the break. There's some content for you.
A half-court shot's always a good one. Or of course, my favorite, baby racing.
Love a good baby race.
I always bet the fat baby.
Are you familiar back there? Are you familiar with the Joe Murray theory on baby racing?
No, please share.
When you get 2 babies and one of them's fat, it wants to get to their mother faster, so it moves faster.
Okay.
Always bet the fat baby.
Okay. I didn't even know baby races were a thing. This is news to me as well.
Yeah, you know what else I used to bet
sheltered.
On? During college football, all the games, they do the Dr. Pepper Challenge when they throw the footballs through the hole.
Yeah.
Always bet on the person you think is least likely to win. Like if you're just judging, like Matt, take the person you think who would not win. They always do.
I just want to go back to the baby races real quick. How many baby races have you bet on, Joe?
Bet on being the operative word here. Words.
Well, okay. Back in the day, my friends and I used to just bet on, hey, are they going to throw or pass here? And we would throw money on the table.
Correct. That has nothing to do with a baby race.
So the reason why the baby races have come up is because we have watched entertainment during halftime of baby races. So I've probably bet on maybe 5 or 6 baby races. There was one recently, but I didn't get the bet on it. But the fat baby won.
Savannah Bananas. Last year, 35,000 people at Fenway Park. You should have heard that place. It was the loudest pop I've heard at Fenway Park in years.
Wow.
When that baby crossed that finish line, it was something else. And some money did exchange hands.
See?
Because once I saw a baby race, I turned to the person next to me and I said, we got to do a Joe Murray thing here. You pick a baby.
Yeah.
I'll pick a baby. I got the fat baby.
I do that with UFC.
Fat baby won.
If I don't know who the fighters are, I just pick, hey, I'm taking the guy in the green shorts.
Sure. Why not?
We just
some action. It's better than no action.
Exactly.
How do we get? Oh, we got here from Red Panda, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so what is
she
this?
okay?
She's a
Red
performer?
Panda? Yeah.
Yes.
I thought we were talking about an actual red panda.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah, it's tremendous. It's a tremendous balancing act.
She got hurt?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, no.
She took a fall last night at the Commissioner's Cup, was it, for the WNBA during their halftime show?
Caitlin Clark showed support.
Yep.
She came out and said, "We love you, Red Panda."
So that's why people are talking about red panda.
Yes.
I Googled red panda, and now I'm looking at adorable pictures of red pandas.
Those are nice, too.
You know what? Underrated animal.
Red panda.
Red panda.
Ah.
Pandas in general.
Where would I find a red panda?
I believe they're in China, in that region of the world.
Okay.
Mongolia?
Native to the eastern Himalayas in southwestern China.
There you go.
Finally, did you guys see episode 1 of Forged in Foxboro?
Nope.
Did you?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Episode 2 coming out July 18th.
I'm a nice man.
So you'll have more audio for the show to everyone to react to.
That's good.
And Matt can crap all over it.
We always like that.
Guys, I'm going to miss you tomorrow.
Yeah, this was fantastic having you in.
Less fun in afternoons.
I'll send you photos from the Legends Suite.
I can't believe
that is
you're going to the Legends Suite and I'm not. How is that possible?
And then he saved that till like 9:36 this morning after a morning full of that take.
Well, the Legend of Joe tomorrow.
Let's see if Joe's here tomorrow, or if Jim Rice is going to take a bat to him like he deserves.
Well, at least I hope he doesn't use Driveline.
Oh no, it would be Joe, short, succinct, the way it should be.
All right, Andrew Callahan tomorrow. Thanks, Ryan, CC, Adam 12, Matt McCarthy. I'm Joe Murray. You got Beetle, Perillo, and Kendra next here on the Sports Hub.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, men. Summer's here, longer days.